Guys, spectacular morning. A little warmer in the afternoon, a touch more humid but bearable. 86 degrees. Friday, partly sunny, a couple of spot showers and thunder showers around in the afternoon. Very limited, mainly a dry day. 88 with scattered showers and thunderstorms around Saturday and Sunday. Warm and quite humid over the weekend. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by the Choruses of Harmony, STL. Right now, sunshine, 78 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Harmony STL presents Now Playing, featuring the ambassadors of Harmony, Visions of Harmony, the Recruits, and Fleet Street performing the hits that shaped generations. Saturday, June 13th, 2 p.m., Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets at harmonystl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis. DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Well, I slept last night.
Yay.
Everyone will be happy about that. But I don't know if I gave it to Andrew or Andrew gave it to me or if I brought it from California, but I can't get rid of this thing. I just got this like, bleh, and it's affecting my voice, so we'll be fine. It's going to be fine. I feel like a pilot. We're about to take off like, we're going to hit a few bumps over Denver. But we're going to get you in there. You want to start with something real or something stupid? I got it all.
You guys pick. Pick.
Stupid isn't real?
I had terrible show prep yesterday. And today, I think I have good show prep.
Right.
Famous last words. I got both.
Dealer's choice.
Let's start real.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about what's going on with 60 Minutes because we're in the same business. And, my entire life I've had tick, 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 and, all these people. And Rach, I saw you had it on the show sheet, which is why I wanted to maybe lead with it and let you sort of set the stage and give your opinions and we can all jump in.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the general public is really concerned about Colbert being let go from CBS and getting rid of that show. And I mean, I understand the president has spoken out against him many times, so I think a lot of people feel like the administration got him taken off the air. But ultimately, it's like, that's a late night talk show. It was losing money. To me, it makes sense that it was going away. What's going on with CBS News and what's going on with 60 Minutes, and, they brought in Barry Weiss to revamp everything they're doing at CBS News. That is more of the story to me, that this institution is just completely overhauling everything they're doing. And they have someone in charge who seems like they are coming in and saying, like, we can't have an agenda, but she seems like she has a very specific agenda. And then you have people like Scott Pelley, who was at CBS News for almost 4 decades. He was just fired. He was just let go for speaking up during a meeting and saying, like, you guys are murdering 60 Minutes. I've never worked somewhere for 40 years, but I think after 40 years, you've kind of earned the right to speak your mind on that sort of thing without an immediate firing. And that's what it was with him, was just, yeah, you're not on the same page with us. I don't really care that you've spent 40 years of your life here. You've got to go. You're not falling in line. That's a huge story to me. And it's not like an isolated incident. They're killing stories that, what was it? Wheels, do you remember? Was it an immigration story?
I can't remember.
But yeah, it was like, oh, we're not going to run this because the White House isn't responding to give their side. Okay, well, by that logic, you are going to have to kill any story, because if I'm the person you're running the story about, all I have to do is not answer you. And now you don't get to run the story anymore. You're just like setting up this system to where like these journalists really can't succeed. I am open to other people's opinion on this, but I've never thought of CBS News as like a partisan news organization. It just seemed like they were just trying to tell you what was going on. And this idea that, like, we've got to change our tone, we've got to do things totally different. I didn't think they were doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is just very odd. I feel bad for Scott Pelley. He's obviously going to be able to find a new job immediately if he so chooses.
Yeah, I look at this, pardon me, I believe that this is 95% Trump. That he is putting the pressure on. He doesn't like being criticized. He's on a run now, and I'm about to read you something that he posted that will evidence that. But I don't know that because I'm so exhausted by everything else that's going on. I can't look into every single story and dig and research and figure it out. But to whatever, I'll say this. Things happen in entertainment. Things happen in the news business. Things get stale. Things become obsolete and superfluous. And if that's what's happening with news overall, or CBS in particular, or the late night shows, then okay, it's entertainment Darwinism. It happens. It sucks if a show you like goes away. But it's the law of the jungle. To whatever extent, whether it's 95% or 1%, Donald Trump doing that is anti-American. It is terrible. It's something that none of us should put up with. And I'm just talking about even trying to influence. Presidents going all the way back have had this thing with the press. Obama famously kicked out Fox, and everyone said, if they go, we go. So it's not just Trump, but let's just, come on. Trump is so far out on steroids on this thing. Here's something he just posted. In the last 2 weeks, I've taken out many bad political leaders and pundits, including Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, lightweight Congressman Thomas Massey of Kentucky, Brad Raffensperger of Georgia, really dumb Stephen Colbert of CBS, and others. My score for 2 weeks is 38-0, with 3 more limping late-night talk show hosts, including low ratings Bill Maher and his fake laughing machine, to go. It's my honor to be working so hard for our country. This is someone who wants you to know it's him, right? This is not someone working clandestinely. No. This is someone who wants to brag to the whole world that I am taking these people, institutions, politicians down. It's one of the things I hate about it. So, yeah, Rach, I think it's terrible. I think it's terrible. Well, and a pox on your house, Barry Weiss and Ellison and all you people who are
so you just said the right name. Larry Ellison is one of Trump's best friends and a huge donor, and he owns CBS News. And what did he just do here recently, Larry Ellison? What deals were approved for him in the last year? Well, he's one of the main people behind the TikTok takeover on the U.S. side. They just did the big merger that needed to be approved, right, with Paramount and Warner Brothers, or at least that's still pending. But it just looks too much like quid pro quo. Do this for me, I'll do this for you. And even if it's not that, that's what it looks like. And I don't think you should care whether it's some lefty doing it with another lefty or some righty doing it with another righty. That shouldn't matter. What's happening very clearly looks like quid pro quo. We will approve these business deals for you, but here's what we want in return. We want you to start cleaning this up, fire these people, change the tone, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get it. That's the world, right? The world is all about influence, but that's what's wrong with politics in the United States, is that it's all about influence back and forth and not about, hey, let's do stuff that makes day-to-day life better for every American.
Yeah, if you told me that my charge in this life was to take over the country or to change the country in some significant and negative way, the first thing on my list to do would be ruin the press. That's what I would do.
I mean, it's absolutely on the playbook for people that are trying to establish power that won't be challenged. One way or the other, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that it's going to be one guy staying around forever. It's more about the people behind the scenes and the people that are calling the shots. And the people calling the shots are people with money. That's who's calling the shots. You want to know who runs the country and runs the world? It's the billionaires, because they have the money to donate to politicians. They have the influence to get in the room and talk to people. And again, it's not all of them. We know that. It's just you know the names. You know the crazy thing is that too many people only see the names on the side they don't like. Oh, we don't like George Soros, or oh, we don't like Rupert Murdoch. Well, it's not any different. They're the same to me, because they're doing the same thing, using wealth and money and power to influence how politics run. That's not in my interest, and it's not in anybody's interest who's listening to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't take Fox News down if I could.
No.
I don't want to see that.
No, it should stay as it is.
It should stay as it is. They should be as pro-Trump, pro-MAGA as they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to me to use my brain and decide whether that's attractive to me or not.
Yeah.
And I'll consume it or not.
And the same with, what is it now? Is it still MSNBC?
MS Now.
Whatever. Same with that. And it's not, look, the owner of a business can dictate how he wants his business to be. But be more upfront about it.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Don't be like, don't try to pretend it's something that it's not. Say, we want a conservative view. Just say it. It's okay. That's what Fox does. That's why it's okay.
So, related question. I don't know if anyone else saw Mike Pence on CNN this morning. I'm not a big Mike Pence guy. I mean, first of all, his politics are different than mine. His is way more calling his wife mommy and stuff like that.
Mother.
Is that what it is?
Mother.
Okay. But I think he's a man of integrity. I think he's a man of character, of high morals. I'd be shocked if I were wrong. I think he's one of the last remaining people like that, certainly in Washington. And he was on CNN today, and his big thing, he's written a new book, and his big thing is bringing character back to politics. And character matters. Your thoughts? Is that horse out of the barn?
Yeah.
Have we given up that ground?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you're saying Mike Pence is trying to drive that?
Yes.
But he was the that doesn't make any sense. He wanted to take the complete opposite direction for as long as it was beneficial to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 years in, it's like, oh no, they're going to hang me. We should bring character back to the office. Like, you were fine with abandoning any semblance of having character.
I thought of it
until
that
it didn't
way.
benefit you anymore.
And the
I was
horse-
like, we should go back to the old days
The
when I
horse
had
is-
more power.
Well out of the barn. It's not been 6 months. It's been 11 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's time to, the future of politics is the present of politics, and the past of politics is the present of politics. It's been 11 years. The horse has been out of the barn for 11 years. So there's no going back.
So do you guys think that if we were all politicians and we were trying to be the next generation, do you think that they look at it and go, no, forget about character, no one cares? Or do they just say, well, I'm going to run even though I have a bad moral character, but no one cares?
Yeah, I
See
think
what I'm saying?
I think the 45th and 47th presidencies are complete evidence that at this moment in time, at least in America, people don't care about character. It doesn't matter what your character is. As long as you say the things that I like and hate the people I hate, that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that is a huge, giant thing in our country's history.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's not new. I mean Trump became a front runner for the Republican Party 11 years ago. He's halfway through his second presidency in 12 years.
In October of 2016, the Access Hollywood tape came out, and everybody's like, well, this is it. You can't elect someone who talks about women like that, and we have him on a hot mic talking about women like that. And then what happened? He got elected.
I remember
Then he got elected again.
I remember our show and all the callers to our show when the Access Hollywood thing in particular happened. I was answering phones and they were all like, hey, he's finished. He's done. This is the October surprise to end all October surprises. You can't become president if you talk about grabbing them. You know what I mean? Like, it just can't happen. And then he won in a landslide.
Dave Hines asked a good question. Are we talking about what we need for good governance or just what it takes to win elections? And I guess I'm talking about both. But in my heart, I don't so much care about election strategy. It's more what's good for the country. And I'm 61. I was brought up in an era of positive American propaganda. No question about it. And, hey, young squire, you can be president yourself and anyone can be president and all this kind of stuff. And, looking up to your idols and professional athletes being, examples. And it's just a big change for people my age to just realize that I see it, but you guys feel it. Because 11 years is like a third of your lives. Like you've lived with this for a third of your life.
I mean, Bill Clinton was president when I was 8 and everything that went on there.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what was happening, but I knew my parents were upset, my friends' parents were upset, and he had done something bad that I wasn't supposed to know about.
Huh.
Well,
it's been like that my whole life.
One of the standards at that time, one of the tests, and this was thrown out there. And by the way, I actually agree with this completely. This was a common line used at the time by Republicans, some version of it, is if your wife can't trust you, how can I? I felt the same way at that time. If you're willing to lie to your family, the people closest to you, you will lie to me without a blink. Why does that standard no longer hold?
Because I think people are willing to give up. I think it's nice to say that for a lot of folks. It's like, oh, yeah, of course I believe that.
So you were either lying then,
right,
or you're lying now because you want power as opposed to being right.
Good discussion. We'll continue if you guys want to. Let me tell you guys about Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. It really is. I've only had maybe 5 of these in 26 years of doing this job. And a big part of my job is doing live endorsements and, selling you guys things, people, services, products. And only about 5 times in my career have I had just like a royal flush, where it's like, look, you could go somewhere else, but it would be really stupid because no one can do what we do. For the most part, it's been, hey, we make a really good steak. So does the guy across the street, but we're nicer and come eat our steaks. But for Stewie's American Mortgage, no one does what Stewie does. No one pays your fees because they either employ commission salespeople, and that takes up that money, or they don't, and they pocket that money, whereas Stewie pays your fees. That's why it's called a bagel loan, because a bagel looks like a zero, and it's 0 fees. The thing he's doing at the moment that I'm not sure how long he's going to do it, but right now, anyone who originates a 30-year mortgage is going to pay 1% less on your interest for your first year. What the mechanism of that is, I don't know, but I know Stewie, and he's really great at explaining things. So if you take out a new 30-year mortgage, you're going to pay 1% less on your interest for the first year. This is his cell phone, 314-324-4440. 324-4440. NMLS 226715.
As dads, it's our job to capture as many memories with our kids as possible. It's also our job to embarrass them, and if we're lucky, we get to do both. That's why I'm thankful my son created Legacy Box, the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos.
And I'll never recover from the time you showed up to my middle school dance to disco in front of everyone. Thanks, Dad. But he's right. Simply fill your Legacy Box with your old VHS, camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos, and we'll do the rest.
And in just a couple of weeks, you'll get your originals back, along with a DVD, thumb drive, or cloud delivery. Stuff that even an old man like me can figure out.
Plus, for a limited time, we're offering a special Father's Day sale.
Go to legacybox.com/radio
to get an
incredible deal. Buy today to take advantage of this limited offer. Go to legacybox.com/radio
to get started and save.
legacybox.com/radio.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
DGS on KMOX, 125 on the dot. Andrew introduced me to Sunkist Zero. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
And I told him and Wheeler and Amy, I'm like, it's not a great reflection on my life, but that's the best thing that happened to me all day. Didn't know that existed.
It should be the best thing that happens to you. It's
maybe all week.
Yeah,
pretty good, man.
It's special.
And then Andrew told a story about drinking a 32-ounce real Coke on his way to work, and that was too fast. And then Wheeler said, the faster you drink a soda, the better. And that made me think we all have our own individual tolerances for watered-down soda.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a quick, you're out of the lineup.
Really?
Like, once that ice starts melting, nope, I need a freshie. How about you guys?
Yeah, I don't really like to drink a ton of soda in general. Like, I'm a one can and I'm good.
You're in the wrong room.
Because I'll go to QT sometimes and I'll get like the big Q or what have you. And by the time I get to the bottom third, I'm just like, why am I doing this? I don't want the rest of this. So I have a low tolerance as well.
Yeah, I'll take it all the way down to the end, but it's just better in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't like. I try. In fact, a lot of times I just won't use. I'll just drink it cold. I just won't use ice with it because then that removes the.
I'll tell you
the concerns.
One way to go if you don't like
poured in a cup.
If you don't like the ice melting and watering it down, put it in a Yeti or something like that. Holy moly!
I didn't expect to get all these ideas.
Holy moly! It stays cold.
Yeah, that ice won't melt in that Yeti.
Not much. I mean, it does, but very slowly over a long period of time.
Do you guys remember Otzi, the 5,000-year-old man they found?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Iceman.
The Iceman. I've always been fascinated by him.
Why did they name him Otzi?
I don't know. I guess it's just like a local name.
I was going to say, maybe that's the town or something.
I don't know. But the latest thing they've done with him is they found that he had these microbes and yeasts growing in his stomach.
Well, who among us?
And they used them to make a mother thing for sourdough bread and then made bread and then ate the bread.
That's kind of gross.
Don't love
I think
that.
so, too.
He was found on the Austria-Italy border in the Otzel Alps.
Oh, there you go.
Hence the nickname.
So he's Otzi. Otzel.
Otzi.
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that name.
Now you can have Otzi bread.
Otzi Otsporn.
Why did they make it into bread and eat it?
I guess to see if they could.
That's
It
so
seems
odd.
like who approved of that? What lead scientist was like, okay, you can go ahead and make the sourdough starter?
Well, you know, the same 13 people have been working with Otzi this whole
That's true.
They
got a weird thing with him.
They're off the reservation. Yeah, for sure.
Before a nation, there was an idea. Before freedom, there was a sacrifice. This year, KMOX marks America's 250th birthday. Step into history with John Hancock and Michael Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, as they pull you into the moment where everything was on the line. This is the sound of a nation being born. Celebrate America, 250 years strong, with Hancock and Kelly, Sunday mornings at 8, only on KMOX.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The pitch. Mason Wynn hits it hard. Deep left field. That ball's out of here.
Community America Credit Union has been helping people like you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big for 85 years. Cash back with your free checking. Win. No service fees or minimum balance. Win. Bank anywhere, anytime with their app. Win. So yeah, with Community America, you can win, and so can I, Mason Wynn. Community America Credit Union. Invested in St. Louis, invested in you.
Here's Dave Murray's weather forecast.
100% sunshine in control this afternoon. The nice thing, the humidity levels are quite comfortable. 81 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 59 for the overnight low. Sunset right around 8 o'clock in the evening now. Thursday, sunny, a little bit warmer in the afternoon, 86. Friday, partly sunny, an increase in humidity, maybe a spot afternoon shower or thunder shower, but very limited, 88. Scattered showers and thunderstorms around over the weekend. It's warm and definitely more humid. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Giddy up! Cardinal Cowboy for Team Renner here, America's oldest family-owned garage door company serving both wholesale and retail markets. Free repair or replacement quotes and $100 off a new garage door.
It's 1:31. This time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LandStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. And neither do we. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
Today, the Cards, the Rangers.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. 2 p.m. We're going to be talking to our friend Dr. Tiffany Osborne about all the various diseases going around. 2:30, we have a historian from the St. Louis History Museum is going to talk about not only the 1904 World's Fair, which I'm obsessed with, but Kevin, he also is doing a new project about baseball in St. Louis.
All right.
So that should be good.
Nice.
I want to play a piece of sound for you guys and get your thoughts on it. And I'll tell you what you're going to hear so that you can focus on that. This is a valedictorian at her high school graduation, and she was warned, I guess they knew her politics, warned by the principal and the superintendent and such, don't make it political. And so she gives her speech. And then at the end, she says, I have one more thing to say. And she starts talking about oppressed people and Palestine and Gaza. And I'm not sure if it's the principal or superintendent. It's a big white lady, runs up there and physically grabs her and pulls her off the dais and says to her, you can't hear, but says to her, you're not graduating. And so you have, hey, they warned her. And then you have free speech. I'm just wondering what you guys think, but go ahead and play it, Rach.
As we celebrate, let's take a moment to thank our parents, guardians, teachers, coaches, and loved ones who stood by us through everything. We truly couldn't be here without their unconditional love and support. Class of 2026, this is our moment. Let's move forward with confidence, ambition, and hope for the future. Before I leave the stage, I have one last thing to say. Every single person here has a voice, and we are privileged to have the freedom to use it when so many people around the world are struggling and suffering to be heard. Whether it's the millions suffering in Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Afghanistan, and so many other countries around the world, these are the families being torn apart by ICE. These are not distant issues; they are happening right now as I speak. My point is, we're not given a voice to stay silent and to just.
So right there is where the lady is grabbing her by the shoulder and pulling her off, and her classmates are giving her a standing ovation. Thoughts?
I'm not a big fan of like putting your hands on someone because of something they're saying.
Fair.
And also, if I don't know, if you have a problem with that, would you have a problem if it was a public school and you were told like, hey, you're not allowed to talk about religion, you're not allowed to talk about God, and then the valedictorian started like witnessing at the end of their speech? Would the appropriate response be to physically grab them and wrestle the mic out of their hand and tell them they're not graduating anymore? Or would you say like, oh, that's really brave that you spoke out about something you really believe in?
This is why you should have gone to law school. It's a great analogy. Wheels has a hit you.
Can a public school tell you not to say something like that? I have no idea. Can they say you can't make a political statement?
I guess they can.
And can they, though?
Yeah. I'm not sure how this would shake out in the courts.
I know you can do something. I'm not sure that you can actually punish for it. I mean, if I were the father, I'd be like, listen, you can let all this go, or I'm pressing charges for you putting your hands on my kid. We can play this game. I can play this game, too. Do not put your hands on my child. If you need to shut off the microphone, shut off the microphone. Don't touch my kid. And I would be a little bit more bothered by it if it was longer than it was. If some teenage kid who feels like they have a message to deliver but doesn't get to do this kind of thing very often is going to go off the rail for 20 seconds, is that the end of the world? Now, if you're up there just going on and on and on and on and on, I can understand it. Is any, like, what does this mean you're not graduating? I did the work. I passed the tests. You're giving me the degree. I don't understand why this is even a question.
They told her she wasn't graduating?
Yeah. I think it's like when they told me I wasn't graduating from WashU because I tried to book Gilligan to be the keynote speaker, but in a different situation.
I mean, we've seen these threats, right? Don't do a weird celebration on stage. Yeah. And they do. Yeah. To me, this is the same idea. I don't care if it's politics or not. You went off instruction, okay? Should we be going that far on a graduation day as long as you're not ruining everything for everyone.
So where would you put the students who kind of show their ass and dance around and do something crazy? How would you compare and contrast that? Like, we told you not to do it.
What's the same principle.
To this.
Why is it different? Because it's a political message versus being a clown. It's under the First Amendment, it's the same thing. And it's a public school. If it's a private school can tell you what you can and can't say, what you have to wear, all that kind of stuff. Can you do that when you're a public school?
I mean, they have dress codes at public schools. And
to a degree, though. Like, they can say not too revealing or whatever. They can't say you must wear this shirt, these pants, and that's it.
I think there are some public schools that like straight up have uniforms. Look, I think it's ridiculous when someone dances and they withhold the diploma. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's annoying. I wish they wouldn't do it. It does like hold up the ceremony for everyone else. But whenever schools are like, and now you don't even get out of here. It's like, it just feels like one last power play. Is it really the end of the world that student did the worm? I don't think so.
Yeah. And my position on this is the same if someone had said something like, we love Trump or whatever. It's fine. To me, that's not worth this much trouble. I understand initially we want to make sure we're not turning this into something crazy, right? We want to make sure that we're not turning this into an entire show about you or your political things. But again, if you're saying my last thing and it's 20 seconds and that's it, regardless of whether it's one way or the other on the political spectrum, what are we that worried about?
I know it doesn't matter legally, but do you think it should matter at all? The fact that her audience, her fellow students were obviously the majority of them were in favor of what she was saying?
I don't think that's a big deal. And if it were my kid, I would have told my kid, hey, it's probably not a great idea. If you want to have a voice, you can find a place to have your voice heard. You don't need to do it there. That would be my advice. My advice would be stay away from politics while you're there. There are plenty of other ways you can work. You're young. There are a lot of ways you can work to get your voice heard. But in the end, am I going to punish my kid if they did that? No. And what's the appropriate punishment here? Your 4 years of work and your diploma are now in the hands of some adult? You did the work for 4 years. You've earned the degree. You've earned the diploma. What else can you do to a person that's now graduated?
Andrew, thoughts?
I mean, it's absurd to withhold her diploma. Yeah. And their statement is weak and
so she
weak
has
and
since
nonsensical.
gotten the diploma.
Okay, good. Okay. The story I saw was from 8 hours ago, so I think they must have, after the backlash, I think they must have rectified it. The responses from the school is very weak, saying that they acted in real time to maintain the integrity of their program. And, we have to remain inclusive to all people. And I guess saying don't abduct immigrants from their home is not inclusive to some, according to them.
I mean, the way to handle this, if you don't want it to have it at all, is then you're just not going to let any students speak. Run a graduation where you recognize the valedictorian and they're not going to get a speech if you're that worried about it. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I'm just saying if that's your big concern, that somebody might go off the rails for 20 or 30 seconds, then don't do it.
It's interesting because in my life before this era, not only did I know about the First Amendment, but I studied it, but I never gave it much thought. I'm sure, obviously, it has been tested, through this and this and this, but this is a real petri dish, like what we're living in now. Like, we're really testing the parameters of our laws. What did you really mean by this? What do we really mean by that? It's an interesting time to live.
I don't know if I'm crazy. I don't know. Tell me if this is a weird thought. I actually kind of hate that politics are such a big deal to teenagers.
I'm struggling to see what was inherently political about what she said.
It's because there was a criticism of ICE. And that's what makes it political. I'm not saying I thought it was overtly political. I'm saying that's where they're going to point to. But I really just wish that, I don't know, maybe I just wish they had the experience in the world that I got. There was not going to be anything political at any high school speech in 1994. Not because people didn't have beliefs or didn't know anything, but because it just wasn't that big of a thing.
I mean, I'm sure, Kevin, I'm sorry, I have to disagree. I'm sure there were plenty of political things being said. We just didn't have the internet, so you didn't hear about it in your town. I think people have been going, like, are we saying that struggles for, like, oppressed groups have just now started and people have just now started speaking out about it?
No, I'm saying this is the first generation that teenagers and younger have been this steeped in it for this long.
In the 60s, you don't think teenagers made comments at their high school graduations about
Maybe they
Vietnam and civil rights? Like, no one said a peep?
Maybe they did.
I think they probably did.
Are you referring more, Kevin, to sort of the innocence of childhood that you wish the kids
I wish
today...
they lived in a world where they didn't have to be facing the issues of the world when they're 16.
Yeah, but...
Where it's in their face every day and they're literally stressed about it because... And I get why you're stressed about it if you're a person that cares about other people, but I think that there's a reason we don't vote until we're 18. There's a reason why we don't have things thrown at us when we're 15, 16. Because you need time to be able to handle things and process things and understand the world.
But I think what you're saying is that you didn't deal with those things.
I'm saying
like,
I
it doesn't
wish
care
they didn't have
the
to.
problems
I'm not
of the
saying
world.
They shouldn't have
of course.
opinions.
But the
I'm saying
problems.
I wish the world wasn't the way that it was, is what I'm saying, where everything is politics. Literally everything is politics.
But I'm saying that if you were like an immigrant family, you've been dealing with the struggles of immigration your entire life, whether you're 16 or 50 or 6 years old. Or if you come from a family where, police maybe wrongfully killed your parents or your father or something like that, you've been dealing with the issues of like institutional racism and police brutality your entire life, whether you're 5 or 15 or 50. So it's like, I don't know if it necessarily bears out that back in the day, kids didn't have to deal with this stuff. I think it's just that you didn't have to deal with it, and maybe your friends didn't have to deal with it because you weren't directly impacted by it.
It wasn't everything every day.
Unless you're growing up with that problem.
I'm talking about to the average group of people. Yes, you're right. There have always been oppressed people. There have always been people victimized. But as it is now, you're faced at a very early age with stories that you're not equipped to see every single day. And I think we spend a lot of time talking about the technology itself being the problem and not the way that technology is used to divide people intentionally and to constantly have people at each other's throats. So the tech itself is one problem, but the way it's used and the way it puts things in your face from the time you're young and old enough to be on there every single day that you may or may not. I mean, it's one thing if you have to deal with something because it's in your life or it's your friend or it's a classmate. It's another thing entirely when it's the whole world's problems in your face every day.
So I'm not sure where I come down on that, because not only do I agree, but I say it all the time. It's kind of what I do. Like, oh, man, I wish the world could be like it was in 1974 or 1984, and we just rode Schwinn Stingrays and had fun in water balloon fights. And I mean that, but having a 21-year-old who is vastly more political and politically minded and politically educated than I was, even at probably 30, I'm proud of her that she has that. Sure, if I could wish it, would I wish that she were just doing nothing but having fun in college? That's where I don't know, because she's more enlightened than I was. She's more educated than I was. Certainly it brings stress and drama, but I'm not sure that my way, our generation of sort of Pollyannishness is necessarily better.
Is the implication here that her knowing more about like politics and stuff and being more informed about the world, is that keeping her from having fun at college?
I think that's Kevin's point, but Kevin's point, he can make it himself.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that it's an absolute. I think being a teenager is hard no matter what, but it's even more hard when you are also being expected at this point to have a position on things. We've talked about how long it takes for your brain to settle. You when you're young, you don't have the perspective to put everything in the right place to kind of process all of it because you don't have that for normal things. And I think that at this point, they're in a position where you almost have to take a side, where you might not be have enough knowledge to have a really good side.
But that's a part of the process of informing yourself.
I get it, but that is a long-term process. It's not something I think is a great idea to have to come down on when you're 15 or 16.
The NBA playoffs are ongoing, and they've been a lot of fun so far, and FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, every moment, from spreads to player points to threes and more. Build it all into same-game parlays and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, you're going to want to do it on FanDuel, an app that is super easy to use. It is secure. It's intuitive. I've been using it for a long time and really enjoy it. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel.com/Missouri. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join KMOX and Community American Credit Union for a free evening of fun as they celebrate the grand opening their new De Beers branch June 4th from 5 till 7 p.m. It'll be a great time. You could win swag from the big ATM, the Amazing Things machine, meet Cardinals alumni, get a photo with Red Bird, plus free food, entertainment, and more, and a chance to come on out and say hi to Chris Ronchi from the Chris and Amy Show. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
Chrysalis Biosciences in Sauget, Illinois is hiring for multiple roles. Join a fast-growing ethanol plant transforming renewable energy with competitive pay, benefits, and growth opportunities. Apply today and grow your career with Chrysalis at chrysalisbio.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Your bathroom should feel less routine and more daily escape. At Michael's Baths, they can transform ordinary bathrooms into a beautiful, comfortable space for homeowners across St. Louis and surrounding areas. And now they're introducing new premium walls. If you love the look of stone without the upkeep, you're going to love this. Sleek, durable, designed to elevate your space. For a limited time, enjoy a free rain shower head or upgrade with safety features like grab bars or a built-in seat. Call Michael's Baths today and schedule a free consultation. 636-775-0800.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts here. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou with $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, DGS. It's quite an hour.
Lefts and rights and ups and downs.
Mm-hmm. You guys want to hear a list of the top summer picnic foods that are going to be growing and declining this summer?
Yeah.
I'll sum it up for you. We're getting fancier. Here are the things you're going to see on summer picnic tables this summer. Olives, flatbreads, breadsticks, hummus, chorizo, salami, prosciutto, and Spanish tortillas. Things you won't be seeing: cocktail sausages, corned beef, sandwich spread, sliced white bread, plain potato chips, cheddar cheese slices. And they've been to South Roxana.
I say, so the picnic basket from 1974?
Did they say why, like, those foods are out? Are
I'm
they too
saying that they're
expensive now or
growing in
something?
popularity. You know, it's so prep. Who knows what where these people get it?
Like, we're cocktail sausages still a thing for picnics?
Yeah, it doesn't describe a picnic I've been to in
I've never heard
the last few decades.
I like fried chicken.
Yeah, see, that's a picnic
Me
food.
too.
Yeah.
Cold fried chicken.
Oh,
Some grapes.
on a picnic, you're right. It's so much better cold like that.
Yummy.
Is there nothing chicken can't do?
I mean,
I think we proved
there's a
that's
reason
not the
we did
case.
a whole Sweet 16 about chicken.
It's also Chicken Salad Day, nationally, not just
Yum.
Missouri.
I like the chicken salads. Man, wish I had it somewhere.
I like turtles.
Tell you guys about Bethesda. In fact, I just received word a few minutes ago that one of my hospice patients is in her final stages, so I'll be doing a vigil with her, and that's, you know, if that's something you'd like to get involved with, it's called No One Dies Alone, and it's through Bethesda, and you can find out all the information at BethesdaHealth.org. Always looking for volunteers. It's incredibly rewarding. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Bethesda and their facilities and their apartment buildings and the fact that they can accommodate any senior from someone my age. And my level of with it and vitality, and I drive a Jeep and I go places and I see people, and I could move into any number of independent living facilities, and they're just gorgeous. There's one in Clayton, there's one in Kirkwood, there's one in Webster. You know, they're kind of all over the metro proper. We have assisted living. Again, we have freestanding buildings. We also have apartment buildings that people can move into and get some help. We have full skilled nursing like my mom had on the third floor of Bethesda Dilworth, and we have the aforementioned hospice care. So if you are thinking about it for yourself, you're tired of home maintenance and all the crap that comes with it, or it's mom or dad, or, you know, maybe your spouse's mom or dad, grandma, grandpa, you can't do better than Bethesda, and they would love to help you out. Go to BethesdaHealth.org, click on the Contact Us button, fill out a short little form, and someone with a great deal of knowledge will be right with you to help you out.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Let me tell you something about insurance. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for renewal. But your business runs all year, so do the gaps and the risk. So go to Supersure.com. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just go buy a policy online. Supersure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits. all with year-round support for you and your team. At Supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts. It'll translate your current policy into plain English so you see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's Supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
At 2 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It is 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. The state-appointed Board of Police Commissioners in the city approves raises for civilian employees and command staff. Did they?
Yes and no. The civilian employee raises were approved, while the command staff will have to wait at least 2 weeks while the city figures out how this will impact their overall budget. Chief of Police Robert Tracy says after command staff were excluded from recent raises to officers, he's having a hard time getting people to take the promotional test because the salaries lag behind other departments.
Our lieutenant colonels are paid $60,000 less than the lieutenant colonels in Kansas City. A year. And it's almost $50,000 for majors.
Tracy says the city should be able to find a way to make these raises work, with the raises only accounting for $2.3 million, while the city's budget is well over $1 billion. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A Shrewsbury police officer is back home with his family after a driver hit him with a car this week while fleeing a post office robbery. Mayor John Odenwald says the officer's injuries were minor, and he thanked the police and fire crews who responded. From ABC News, California Republican candidate for governor Steve Hilton has a slim lead over Javier Becerra in that race. Hilton says new things are on the horizon if he is voted into office.
Change is coming. Change is coming to California. Change is coming to California, and it's long overdue.
The Los Angeles mayor's race jolted by the candidacy of Spencer Pratt, who starred on the reality TV show The Hills. The Republican has been trying to capitalize on dissatisfaction with Democrat Karen Bass, who is seeking a second term. Correspondent John Gambrell reports attacks continue and tensions remain high in the Middle East.
Iran and the United States have again exchanged fire in the Persian Gulf, testing this nominal ceasefire in the Iran war. What we've heard from U.S. military officials is that the Iranians launched ballistic missiles targeting both Kuwait and Bahrain this morning. Now, the U.S. officials say that that fire was either intercepted or broke up over the Persian Gulf, not striking any targets. The Iranians say that they targeted the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain, as well as a military base in another country they didn't identify. The Iranians blame this on the Americans firing a missile into an empty oil tanker that was trying to break a U.S. blockade on Iran. Iran is trying to get all these empty oil tankers back because they're still trying to produce oil, but they're having to slow down the flow because they have nowhere to stick it.
The Dow from Stifel is down 473 points to 50,833. We've got a stalled vehicle, 6440 going west at Ballast. That's got the right shoulder closed. A crash on 70 West. St. Charles Rock has had the two right lanes closed.
100% sunshine in control this afternoon. The nice thing, the humidity levels are quite comfortable. 81 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 59 for the overnight low. Sunset right around 8 o'clock in the evening now. Thursday, sunny, a little bit warmer in the afternoon, 86. Friday, partly sunny, an increase in humidity, maybe a spot afternoon shower or thunder shower, but very limited, 88. Scattered showers and thunderstorms around over the weekend. It's warm and definitely more humid. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call them for their 26-point tune-up. It's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlewis.com. Downtown at the Arch, we've got sunshine. It's 80. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. A few minutes past 2 p.m. Time to check in with our resident doctor, Dr. Tiffany Osborne. Hello, Doc. How are you?
Well, how are you doing?
Doing okay. Andrew and I both have a little something. Are you seeing much of the little somethings? I mean, I guess the flu season's over with, but, you know, like we both have a little bit of like the headache and the sore throat and such.
Yeah, I've been seeing people with allergies and maybe a few people who've got like a spring type, upper respiratory infection, but not anything really serious.
Good. Let's talk about the serious ones. And this is in no way, shape, or form meant to be like, if you live in Kirkwood, you're going to get Ebola. But we're interested in the hantavirus and the Ebola virus. And as Andrew pointed out, it seems like everyone from the Congo now is going on worldwide trips. So what are these things and to what level does anyone need to be concerned here in the U.S.?
Okay. So do you want to start with Ebola or hantavirus?
Dealer's choice, whichever you want to do.
Okay. All right. So let's start with Ebola, and then let's break it down into what is it, what's going on with it, what makes it unique, and then what's the bottom line for us.
Mm-hmm.
So Ebola is a virus, and it can be particularly nasty. It starts off feeling like, I don't want you to start because you just got finished telling me how you're feeling, but it starts off feeling like you've got the flu, and then it progresses to like diarrhea and emesis, and you can lose up to 10 liters a day. It progresses, then it can progress, and not in every case, but it can progress to hemorrhagic fever, which is particularly terrible, in which you have a lot of fever and there's bleeding basically from everywhere, eyes, nose, ears, everything. And depending on the strain of the virus, the mortality is between 25 and 90%, depending on who you read. Now, how it starts is different than how it spreads. So generally, it starts from fruit bats. So fruit bats are the reservoir, and people either, like some people in Africa hunt fruit bats, they eat fruit bats, or the fruit bat could contaminate food, or the fruit bat could contaminate another animal that then comes in contact with a person. So that's how it starts, but then how does it spread? So Ebola is contagious, but it's not nearly as contagious as measles or COVID. So it's not airborne, and it spreads generally through direct contact with body fluids. So that also includes after someone passes away. So during the last Ebola outbreak, some spread was occurring due to some of the customs, the burial customs, where people get washed before they're buried. And when they were doing the washing, they were coming in contact with these secretions, and then that would pass it along. So that was part of the transmission. So what's going on in Africa right now? So the current outbreak is centered in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC. And as of June the 1st, there were around 1,100 suspected cases, around 320 confirmed cases, and 42 deaths that were tied to the outbreak. Now, the World Health Organization was alerted in May, and what officials were calling and telling them was that there was this high mortality outbreak of an unknown illness. So 10 days later, laboratory testing confirmed that it was the Bundibugyo strain of Ebola. So within 48 hours of that confirmation, the World Health Organization then declared that the outbreak was a public health emergency and was of international concern. So even though they were very quick, so in the 2014 Ebola crisis, that was one of the sources of contention, was that it took too long for the World Health Organization to declare that. But this time that was very fast. The problem was that a lot of the experts believe that the virus had already been circulating for months before it was detected, probably even since early March, which means that the outbreak had already had a significant head start before containment efforts started. So what's unique about this virus? So this circulating virus is the Bundibugyo, and it's a rare strain. Its mortality is about 30 to 50%, but it's a very rare strain. The Zaire virus is much more common. That's the one that we had in 2014, and that's got a mortality of around 70 to 90%. So since the Zaire is more deadly and more common, that is where vaccine and medication efforts were focused. Since that one was the one that was circulating, that's where they could do testing to figure out what they could provide as far as vaccines and medications. And the vaccines were actually very effective. One of the vaccines that they ended up developing for 6,000 people who were exposed to someone with that strain of Ebola, they had 100% of effectiveness if they got the vaccine within the appropriate period of time. So it was very good. Now, but for this particular strain that we have right now, there is no approved treatment of any kind because it's rare. Since it's rare, the outbreaks, they don't have the exposure to be able to try to develop vaccines and medications. And it's a completely different strain from the other one. So the same medications and vaccines won't work.
So, Doc, is this of concern to people in the U.S. other than being concerned about their fellow man across the ocean?
So I think number one, of course, is our humanitarian responsibility. I mean, in the last epidemic, there were 28,000 reported cases with 11,000 deaths. But what we also learned from that 2014 situation is that infectious disease does not respect boundaries. So during that 2015 situation, there were 11 people with Ebola who came to the U.S. Now, 7 were medically evacuated to specialized treatment and containment centers, but 4 were diagnosed within the U.S. 2 were infected and then didn't develop symptoms until they got into the U.S., and then 2 were healthcare workers who had treated people who had been infected. But the bottom line there is that it's possible, not probable, that we would have exposure to Ebola. And in general, preventing cases in Africa not only is the right thing to do, it's also the most effective way to protect Americans.
And Andrew is flying this Friday, and he's afraid of picking up the hantavirus. Is it more easily spread?
It is more easily spread with caveats. I don't think he's got to worry about contacting hantavirus, but so let's start off with what is it. So hantavirus is a virus that is usually spread by rodents. The incubation period is about 42 days. The problem is that although it starts with like flu-like symptoms, like everything else, it progresses to very severe cases where you can develop pulmonary edema, respiratory failure, shock, and the case fatality associated with it is between 35 and 50%. So what happened with this cruise? On the cruise, so the cruise leaves Argentina on April the 1st. This one person, a Dutch passenger, gets sick on April the 6th, and then he passes away on the 11th. And then between the April 6th to 28th, there are other people who start to get pneumonia-like symptoms. On the 24th, the deceased passenger is disembarked, as well as his wife and multiple other passengers, like I think something like 37 people. And it turned out that his wife actually passed away 2 days later in Johannesburg. Now, here's the issue. What's different about this particular type of hantavirus? This type of hantavirus is different from any other hantavirus. It's the only type of hantavirus that is known to have human-to-human transmission. So typically outbreaks are in Argentina and Chile. So unless he's going to Argentina or Chile, he probably doesn't have anything to worry about. The spread of it can be among household contacts, sexual partners, unprotected caregivers, but it typically revolves around prolonged interaction. And they think that there may be a respiratory component to it, but that is unclear. In the United States, we do have hantavirus, but it's a completely different type. So the normal hantavirus, which everybody else, every other strain of hantavirus except for that one that I just told you, you get it from rodents, not from people. So there's no human-to-human transmission.
That's not
That
good
was
for
what
Andrew.
was different.
I know.
Andrew's around more rodents than people.
I know.
Made
You're all
it
gonna feel
any
so
better.
silly when I do get hantavirus. You guys are gonna be like, and you, I'm gonna be like, you all said it was nothing to worry about.
I won't feel that silly. You're probably flying with a mouse going to Vegas. So
Are you really flying with a mouse?
It's hard to. I won't know until I see it.
Every day, a mouse lays out his clothes like he's Cinderella.
This is what happens when you give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah, I don't intend to, but I mean, I really, it's really up to the mouse more than it's up to me.
So I will tell you that typically in Missouri, there's only one case a year, and sometimes not even that much. Most of the United States, it's in New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, around in those particular areas. But that's what Gene Hackman's wife had passed away from.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was hantavirus. Yeah.
Doc, before we let you go, one more thing. We had another issue yesterday involving young Andrew. When you get a urine sample from a patient, do you typically give them instructions on how to get the urine into the cup?
I typically figure that they know how to figure that out on their own.
No, you should tell them. You should tell them. You should let them know the proper way to do it because it's not as obvious as everybody seems to think.
Well,
and I maintain that I think this is something everyone's done, every male has done, and they just won't admit it.
Zero chance.
They just won't admit it.
You know what?
The number
You know
of
what,
people
not brave.
who've done that
You're
is
probably
one.
right.
They're not
you
brave.
Are probably right.
Thank
You're probably
you.
right. You're probably right. I bet that there are a lot of males who have done whatever it is you're saying that you did. I bet they definitely didn't say it.
Boy,
I got it all over the place. Is the problem?
Well, floating the cup in the toilet to start with. I guarantee you're the first.
That was more for fun than anything
you're like
else.
the Neil Armstrong of this.
That's like Tubby Toys, you know.
The Neil
Oh
Armstrong.
my gosh.
All right, Doc. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to tell you one thing though.
Yeah.
I was highly impressed with Kevin's Star Wars acumen from the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
About the half-ass Jedi thing?
Oh, all of the Jedi, all of it. He had very detailed ideas and hypotheses beyond what was the rationale for these different ideas that he had. So I was very impressed.
I'm a nerd.
There you go. Appreciate it, Doc. Talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good day.
Speaking of doctors, let me tell you about another doctor in my life, Dr. Matt Bays. I've been buddies with Matt for about 20 years, met him through a couple of other docs who I was hanging out with. Great guy, former college athlete. Why is that important? Because he's obsessed with sports. He's obsessed with sports injuries. He's been the team doctor for several high school and college programs. He's taken care of me. He's taken care of my daughter, Phoebe. He did about 10 years with a practice of docs who I know and respect the hell out of and still like very, very much, who did pretty much exclusively stem cell injections. And so I've seen Doc do about a dozen of those. I have spoken to his patients. I've heard them rave about the Doc and the stem cell injections, but that's not all he does. He does more conventional stuff that if you or someone in your family gets injured and you need to see a doctor, you're not sure whether it's a strain or a sprain or a break or a tear, or if you have chronic pain, maybe you've had it for decades now, maybe you can trace it to an injury you know about, maybe it just kind of came out of nowhere. And also, Doc is the best at customer service. If you've ever sat in a waiting room too long, especially in pain, that's not going to happen to you here. 636-735-3003, baysportsmed.com.
I'm Emma Grade, host of Aspire with Emma Grade, a podcast where I sit down with people who don't just dream big, they build big. From culture-shaping voices like Mel Robbins to leaders redefining success like Tracy Ellis Ross to game-changing entrepreneurs like Mark Cuban. Aspire is about mindset, ambition, and doing the work that actually moves the needle. If you're ready to raise your standards and take charge about the life and career you're building, Aspire is where you start. Follow and listen to Aspire with me, Emma Grade, an Odyssey podcast available wherever you get your podcasts.
As dads, it's our job to capture as many memories with our kids as possible. It's also our job to embarrass them, and if we're lucky, we get to do both. That's why I'm thankful my son created Legacy Box, the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos.
And I'll never recover from the time you showed up to my middle school dance to disco in front of everyone. Thanks, Dad. But he's right. Simply fill your Legacy Box with your old VHS, camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos, and we'll do the rest.
And in just a couple of weeks, you'll get your originals back, along with a DVD, thumb drive, or cloud delivery. Stuff that even an old man like me can figure out.
Plus, for a limited time, we're offering a special Father's Day sale.
Go to legacybox.com/radio to get an incredible deal. Buy today to take advantage of this limited offer. Go to legacybox.com/radio
to get started and save.
legacybox.com/radio.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The road to the United Bowl starts here. Your St. Louis Battlehawks have clinched the playoffs and earned dome field advantage. Playoff football is coming back to St. Louis, Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
100 years, one legendary voice. We live KMOX's century of service, classic audio, photos, videos, and more at KMOX100.com.
Welcome back, DGS 222. Okay, it's been a heavy show so far. Lots of political debate and Ebola. Gonna lighten it up here. Although I take it very seriously, I have a statement to make, which you guys can then try to dispute. In the world of store-bought sweets, Entenmann's full-size chocolate donuts are the king.
Are we talking the devil's food or just the chocolate? Because
the chocolate with the yellow cake.
Okay. I like the devil's food, but the chocolate with the yellow cake is... The Entenmann's donuts are like... If you can't get to a real donut shop, those are just fine. You know what I mean? They are quite good.
I might even prefer them. in some ways.
I don't prefer them, but I do prefer them to like Hostess or Bunny Bread or Little Debbie donuts.
I'll take pretty much any Hostess product over an Intamin. Now except for the donuts, as when it comes to the small donuts, right? I think Entenmann's probably reigns supreme out of that group. But you're talking about all Starbucks.
Another big statement. I'm done with Hostess.
Really?
I don't even eat Hostess cherry pies anymore. Hostess sucks.
No,
Dude, the Entenmann's cherry pies are so much better.
Yeah, those are
so
good.
much
The little
better.
pie things? Yeah.
The JJ's cherry pies.
Yeah,
I have too.
those are good too.
Not familiar with their work.
No, they're good.
Are they the ones shaped
and they're
like a
super
pie?
cheap too.
They're pie shaped.
Okay.
No, these are like hand pies.
Yeah, they're like the
All right.
like the Hostess ones, but they're better.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're like $1 each.
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
I would say Little Debbie is the everyman cake. Very good, very affordable. Entenmann's is the rich guy donut, but I think it's worth the price.
You got to look for the sale when it comes to the Entenmann's.
I didn't know they went on sale.
They do. They do.
We only talking donuts or all of those things?
No, it can be anything.
Sometimes I look at the Entenmann's website. They have so many treats I didn't even know about. They have cinnamon rolls.
The tasty cakes are pretty good.
That's a Southern thing, right?
Southern and East Coast. It was a big East Coast thing. We used to only get them when we visited my grandma in Pennsylvania when I was a kid.
Rach, you are adorable. I don't know another single human that goes to Entenmann's.com.
I'm on it right now. Entenmann's.com/donuts. Their crumb-topped donuts are also delicious.
Oh, I do love a crumb top.
Yummy.
Those are fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are.
Try a tasty cake.
Yeah, tasty cakes are good, dude.
I've had them. They're good.
Yeah.
They're quality.
I will say, though, they are not as good as they used to be. Maybe it's just by point of reference changed. You know, when you're a kid, it's different, so it's awesome. And now you're like, maybe it's not that great.
Do you guys have anything that you see at the grocery store and you're like, I would love to, I just can't bring myself to pick this up? Because for me, I always really want the Pepperidge Farms cookies, or I think I do.
That's funny.
But then when the rubber meets the road and it's time to like commit to paying for that, I'm like, nah, I'm okay.
I totally feel you. Yeah. That would probably be a pretty good one, because for me, it's not so much like Oreos are $4 and these are $6. It's just, I don't know what's in that bag. I've not had the Pepperidge Farms.
Yes.
So.
And I think that's what adds to their appeal is you can't see them, and it's like, man, those could be amazing.
Those could be really
but they
good.
also could be not so great, and then I just paid, $5. I could have spent that on some Entenmann's.
Not to go off on another fellow creative, I try to be very protective of performers of all types. But I was watching an interview today with Vanilli, I guess. And the CNN person said, now, I've spoken to your team. And I was just like, I almost spit out my coffee. I'm like, seriously? This guy's got a team? Vanilli's got a team to, like, take care of all of his requests?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of royalties there.
He's got a team of publicists. He's got multiple. He's probably got multiple assistants.
I just don't know what's going on in the world.
So I thought it was Millie and it's Millie and Vanilli, but you're telling me it's Millie Vanilli one person?
The name is Millie Vanilli.
No, neither person is named Millie or Vanilli.
No.
That's just the name of the band or the group or whatever.
But okay.
Oh wait, Millie and Vanilli is not their names?
No.
What are their names?
I don't know.
Fab something.
Yeah, one of them's not with us anymore.
Rob.
Rory Gallagher.
I don't know which one passed away, but one of them passed away.
Wait.
The one that wasn't on CNN.
Wikipedia says past members Fab and Rob. So who's in Millie Vanilli
Millie
now?
Vanilli now is two sisters.
What?
Yeah, when they were backing out of the thing, it was a woman's. I forget her name. She said, "Yeah, my sister and I we're not doing this," or something like about the America 250 thing or whatever.
Well, the guy that I saw with the team was definitely one of the original Millie or Vanilli.
Fab was who was on CNN. I'm looking at his video right now.
Yes.
But Fab and Rob were never actually the singers.
No. They're the ones that ran off the stage.
They were the lip syncers and the dancers.
So that's the two sisters then is the real.
I don't think they were the real thing now. Maybe they do the real thing now, like they actually sing.
I think I'm starting to understand why Millie Vanilli wasn't more successful. It's impossible to figure out what's going on.
Sure, it's a mystery. It's a built-in mystery.
I'm actively trying to figure it out, and I am lost.
Yeah, you learned a lot in the last 180 seconds.
But did I? Did I really learn anything?
First of all, there is no Millie or Vanilli. Second of all, they're chicks now.
And they were.
I have more questions than ever.
Millie Vanilli, they were from France, right? Wasn't Fab a French dude?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I know they wore bicycle pants. I remember that
They
about
definitely did that.
Tell you guys about my friend Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalance Health. There's one thing that she does, the pellets, the testosterone pellets, which I tell you about pretty much every day, which is a life thing, right? I'm guessing that until superior technology is invented, that I will be on the pellets until the day I die. If you are above, let's say 40, but people in their late 30s are seeing drops in testosterone as well, men and women. And yes, it sneaks up on you. And yes, it makes a big difference. And yes, you can really tell when you get some help, like the pellets that I've been getting for 7 years. And the reason I know this so well is last year I went 9 months without having my pellets because I was lazy and I felt like crap. And now I feel much, much better. Right next door, BioBalance Skin, Botox, chemical peels, micro needling, M-Sculpt lasers, anything to make your face look and feel better and younger without the pain, without the permanency. Go to biobalancehealth.com.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings. It really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
100% sunshine in control this afternoon. The nice thing, the humidity levels are quite comfortable. 81 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 70s for evening plans, 59 for the overnight low. Sunset right around 8 o'clock in the evening now. Thursday, sunny, a little bit warmer in the afternoon, 86. Friday, partly sunny, an increase in humidity, maybe a spot afternoon shower or thunder shower, but very limited, 88. Scattered showers and thunderstorms around over the weekend. It's warm and definitely more humid. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
A common question I receive is, how is the market right now? It just seems so volatile. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. If you want to buy or sell but feel overwhelmed by the whiplash of the market, then let's talk. With over 23 years as a broker, I have the exact experience you need to help you navigate this tricky market. Call me at 314-441-4444. 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than two?
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
With summer here and the kids home full time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Muni tickets for 2026 are on sale now, featuring Hairspray, Shrek the Musical, South Pacific, Disney's Newsies, Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations, Meet Me in St. Louis, and Something Rotten. Choose your seats now at muni.org.
Meet me at the Muni in Forest Park.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down on the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the website, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Today,
The Cards, the Rangers,
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 234. Happy Wednesday. Excited to have my next guest in. Adam Klompy is a public historian at the Missouri Historical Society, and we're going to talk about World's Fair. We're going to talk about a new baseball exposition. Is that even the right word? That they will be opening in October. Adam, welcome to the show. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
So, first of all, how does one become a historian in this modern era? Like, what was your path?
Yeah. I think all historians, public historians, at least at the History Museum, we all come to it a little bit differently. I was in grad school. I was doing American Cultural Studies at St. Louis University. And I was, looking for internships, and I ended up with an internship at the, Missouri Historical Society to work on an exhibit for the, 250th anniversary of the founding of St. Louis that we were doing in 2014. And I really just fell in love with the work. I loved communicating with people. I loved writing for museum exhibits, and I basically just stayed there until they had to start paying me better than an intern.
That's cool.
So.
That's cool. Yeah.
I kind of did that in radio.
Yeah, that's how I got these guys. So are you a St. Louis guy?
I grew up in Franklin County, so nearby. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm a St. Louis guy too. I grew up over in Illinois, but I've been here pretty much the whole time. And I grew up, honestly, like a bike ride away from Coquille Mountains, never realizing that worldwide, this is a huge thing. This was just like, oh, climb up there, you can see real far.
Yeah. That's, I think, one of the real sort of blessings of being a person that was interested in history in this area. St. Louis is this really fascinating place. We have, history that goes back centuries with the native peoples that lived here. This is a place that's at this fascinating crossroads, the confluence of these two rivers. It's sort of a northern city in some ways, sort of southern, sort of eastern, sort of western. It's this place where all these ideas are sort of colliding, and it leads to this really fascinating, deep history. So, I always tell people, no matter sort of what avenue of history you're interested in, there's a way to find St. Louis through that avenue.
It's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, whether you're talking about the trapper years and the gateway to the west and the river traffic, and before that, the Mississippians, it really, a lot has taken place here. So let's talk about, first of all, the World's Fair. And I was sharing with you, a few years ago, I became sort of semi-obsessed and went down an eBay hole. And that's pretty easy to do, right? But just like, I'm such an object person, and holding something in my hands that was actually there, it's just magical to me. And you've already educated me, because I didn't realize, because I told you, when I look at the 1904 World's Fair, the photographs, obviously, I think fake. This is like the pyramids or the moon landing, or it's like there's no way we humans did this. But you explained it, the way they built it allowed them to build it not just beautifully, but quickly.
Yeah, most of the major structures at the fair, they were built, it was sort of a lumber frame, and then they had a facade that they would put on it that was made out of a substance called staff. It's essentially like plaster of Paris, except it's got some straw and other things in it to make it more fibrous. So they could take that staff and they could pour it into molds and make these beautiful shapes that could go on the outsides of the buildings. They could pour it into blocks and like carve statues out of it. So, and you could whip that up pretty quick. You could carve it pretty fast. You could build these massive structures in very little time. They didn't break ground on the World's Fair until 1901. So, and they were supposed to open in 1903. So they had planned on 2 years to build this whole thing. So yeah, it was all designed to go up really quickly and then also come down pretty quickly.
And even though travel was so much more primitive back then, it was truly a World's Fair.
Oh yeah, over 19 million people came to the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904, and they had improved. Talking about travel, they did all sorts of things to try to encourage more people to come here. Right? They built better trolley lines to connect Union Station to Forest Park near the main gates, so that people could take a train into St. Louis, hop on a trolley, get right there. They improved the levee and stuff to make sure that people coming in on steamships and boats up the river could get here quickly and easily. So yeah, they really worked very hard to make sure that this was a global event right here in St. Louis.
So what are some of your buildings or displays or things that we could have seen at the 1900 World's Fair that maybe doesn't get as much attention as some of the other things?
You mean like in the exhibit itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the centerpiece of the exhibit is, something really cool that I don't think anybody's seen before. We opened this in 2024, and it's as close to the World's Fair as you can get today. It's a scale model of the entire World's Fair grounds.
Oh, damn.
It's got every building, all the pathways. We project down onto it so that you got all the water and stuff. It's really, I work in Forest Park. It's the best urban park in the country. And when I was working on the exhibit, I would look at maps of the World's Fair and say, oh, I'm going to walk through this part of the park today, and that's where this palace was or that one was. And as soon as I left the building, I'd get lost. But being able to see it on a map, like in a scale model, you're able to really tell where that stuff is. And we also have, dozens of artifacts from our own collections that are out in that exhibit. We have essentially a big shovel that got pulled behind a horse that they used to clear ground in Forest Park, right? They had to tear down a bunch of trees. They took the river to Pear and they buried it underground so it would stop flooding during the World's Fair, right? And they had to do all that with horses. It's not earth-moving machines. So we have stuff like that. We have medals from the 1904 Olympics that were held at the 1904 World's Fair. We have a stein that Theodore Roosevelt drank out of when he visited the fair in November of 1904. So there's all sorts of stuff, like you were saying, that, was present at the World's Fair that you can see and that you can't see anywhere else but the Missouri Historical Society.
Yeah, so being a former WashU alum, I guess I'm a current WashU alum, I have to ask you about the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I played golf a million times out there with my buddies during law school, and it was always like, no, it's right there. It's on the par 5. Like, do we know anything?
So, unfortunately, it's not buried in Forest Park. We actually have part of the World's Fair exhibit. Every 2 years, there's a room in that exhibit that we change out. It's a small mini exhibit about a different part of the World's Fair. Right now, there's something in there about the history of the Ferris wheel. And, after the fair was over, the Ferris wheel was meant to be taken down and then rebuilt on Coney Island as a permanent attraction there. This is the original Ferris wheel from the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. So they had taken it down and moved it to St. Louis. But once they got it here, they decided this is way too much of a hassle. So they just blew it up and they sold the metal for scrap.
Damn.
The axle was huge. It weighed something like 60 tons. And so they just took it and they put, a guy who owned a scrapyard in Chicago bought it and he moved it up there and then eventually cut it up and sold it for scrap, presumably.
Wow. Yeah, because when I went to WashU, the thing was, right along Skinker, there's that par 5.
Right.
And there's some hills. And everyone's like, it's right there, man.
Oh, that's it. Those are the hills.
That's what it is. Those are the cars right there.
And the thing is, too, I love that story, even though it might not be correct. There are a lot of people who firmly believe that it's still buried somewhere in Forest Park. And if you get those people into a room with people like we have the newspaper articles that show that it went to Chicago, they get kind of mad at it sometimes. And I actually think that's what matters. It shows that connection that people still have to the World's Fair that still matters.
So how much stuff is buried there? Like if everything was wiped off the map and archaeologists 500 years from now started digging, would they be like, damn, there's a World's Fair here?
I mean, I think they would probably find... You would find stuff, back before all the great improvements that happened in the Forest Park, in the 80s and 90s. Like back in the 70s and stuff, people would just kind of sneak into the Forest Park at night and they'd try to dig up, when they were tearing down those palaces, that were made out of staff and lumber. They tried to salvage the lumber and sell it to construction companies or whatever, but the staff is worthless. So they either broke that up, put it in train cars and sent it to a landfill, or they just buried it somewhere in the park. Wow. So, I'm sure there's still pieces of staff around in the park, but we really shouldn't go digging for that today.
If you're just joining us, we're talking to Adam Kloppe, who is a public historian at the Missouri Historical Society. Rach, anything before we move on? Okay. Baseball. Okay. You have Kevin Wheeler's full attention. You guys are doing something cool with baseball in St. Louis.
Yeah, so on October 3rd of this year, we're opening a brand new temporary exhibit called St. Louis at Bat, 100 Moments in Baseball History. And basically, the reason we're doing this exhibit right now is because, of course, this year is the 100th anniversary of the first Cardinals World Series victory. So we're going to explore all the championships won by professional teams in St. Louis, the Cardinals, the Stars and the Negro Leagues, and then also the St. Louis Browns of the American Association in the 1880s. We have artifacts to help tell those stories. And then we have a timeline of 100 moments in the city's baseball history that goes, it talks about the Cardinals and the Browns and the Stars and all those teams, but it also talks about things like, a guy who lives in the suburbs of St. Louis who set up a wiffle ball league in his parents' backyard in 2003 that they're still playing in today, right? We're talking about things like, a team here that plays a version of baseball called beep baseball that's played by people with low and no vision.
About that, yeah.
So we really want to show that this is a place where, baseball's been innovated on, that there's been whole communities here that have come up around baseball, and that it's still just such a huge part of this city.
Very cool. You got anything in there about Guinness World Record holders?
I
Just
don't.
a group of friends of us, we broke some records. That's really so. How many of the in the top 100 when you're displaying all of this? Where did you get all of the artifacts, and do you have them for every one of those 100, or is it just kind of certain ones?
Yeah, it's for certain ones. The moments we want to tell, it wasn't necessarily the top 100 moments, right?
Right.
We
Just
wanted
the fun stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
and stuff that really shows the diversity and complexity of baseball's history here. So some of them, it's images and it's words. We worked with a family here, the Chauvin family, who they had one of their ancestors played for a team here called the St. Louis Blackstockings, which was one of the first black teams in this part of the country. They traveled all over the place. He still has descendants that live here. So there's no artifacts to tell that story, but we can make a video to help tell it. But yeah, some of the artifacts in the show, there's over 200 artifacts. Some of them come from our collections at the Missouri Historical Society. We also worked with Cardinals Hall of Fame Museum. We worked with folks like the St. Louis Browns, Historical Society.
Yeah, they're really, really active.
Oh, yeah. The guy who runs that, Ed Wheatley, likes to say, that there is not a Brooklyn Dodgers, historical society and fan club. There's not a New York Giants historical society and fan club. It's the Browns that still have that kind of culture. And groups like Mind's Eye, groups like the Skibby Wiffle Ball League, groups like Challenger Baseball, which was a baseball league set up in the 90s for kids with developmental disabilities. Like, we reached out to some of these groups to get stuff in and help tell those stories.
If the Historical Society came to you and said, hey, Adam, here's $1 million grant. Spend the next few years studying anything about St. Louis you want to study. What needs to be fleshed out?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, so much. Like I said before, this is a place with such, a rich and complex and diverse history. And one of the things I love most about working at the Missouri Historical Society, I don't get to work on every exhibit that we have, but some of my favorite exhibits we've ever done are ones that I kind of have nothing to do with. Last year we had an exhibit up called Gateway to Pride that was about, the LGBT community here in St. Louis and their history here. We have one up now about the Mill Creek Valley, a historic African-American neighborhood that was torn down.
That I'd never heard of, sadly, before this year.
Right, yeah. And so being able, we work really hard to bring those stories to life for people. And we have such a talented staff and such a creative staff that's able to do that kind of work. So, I don't want to put my thumb on the scale and say what it should be because I think we're already doing great work.
Yeah.
Adam, what can the average person do if they want to get involved with the Missouri Historical Society? Like, are there volunteer opportunities? Are there events that people can attend?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we have, a robust pool of volunteers, and we're always looking for more. So if you go to our website, mohistory.org, there's information on there how you can volunteer. The museum has free entrance, like so many of our great attractions here in St. Louis, but you can also join, as a member at various different membership levels, and that comes with all sorts of benefits, including getting invited to exhibit premieres like the baseball premiere that's going to happen in October. We're always, trying to reach out. And then if you just want to come and see what we're all about, we're open Tuesday through Sunday every week. So, we're only closed on Mondays, so you can come any day. We're also open late on Thursdays. We do this great series of programs called Thursday Nights at the Museum, where sometimes, we have scholars to talk about St. Louis history. Sometimes we're doing game shows about St. Louis history. One time we recreated wrestling at the Chase and turned our auditorium into a wrestling ring, right? So we're doing so much fun stuff on Thursday nights. So I would just encourage people to come out to that.
So you don't have to tell me where it's located because I would 100% break in. But is there like a Holy of Holies there at the History Museum? Like, you don't go in there?
I mean, our artifact storage is, at our our library and research center, which is over there on Skinker. And that place just has so many treasures, back in our storerooms. The stuff that you see on the floor is just a small percentage of what we can get out at any one time. And, we try to get out as much of that as possible. There's things, there's stuff that we wanted to get in the World's Fair exhibit that was too delicate that we couldn't get out on display, but we want to keep preserving that for future generations and future researchers. So, that place is really, really special. And the reading room to that is open to the public. I believe that's Tuesday through Saturday. So if you want to do research on your house, on your family in St. Louis's history, you can go over there, and our great library and archive staff can really help you find some treasures from our collections and our holdings that can help you find that history.
That's awesome. Adam, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons?
Yep.
Decorations?
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers?
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party start at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online, pick up in-store only.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Feel the rhythm and turn it up, St. Louis. Legendary rock icons Santana and the Doobie Brothers are bringing the heat to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater June 20th for the Oneness Tour 2026. From Black Magic Woman to Listen to the Music, this is the concert event fans don't want to miss. It'll be a summer night soon not forgotten. Santana, the Doobie Brothers. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, go to KMOX.com/events.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. Look, I know basically for my entire adult life what it's like to ride the roller coaster. Your weight goes up, your weight goes down, and I know that it's way easier to put it on than it is to take it off. But I've really got some help from Supplement Superstore, specifically now with Burn Balance Complex. It is an all-natural, complete metabolism system. So if you're looking to drop a few pounds, you're just trying to get in better shape, but you don't want to go the route of prescriptions or injections or anything, get into Supplement Superstores. Ask them about the Burn Balance Complex. It's not just a fat burner. It's way more than that. It gets your body working the way it's supposed to. It's like a tune-up for your car, right? You're always making sure your engine's going to run right. Well, your own engine, your body engine, your metabolism needs that kind of maintenance and attention as well. So on top of the metabolism boost, which is what helps us burn the stored fat, and I know from experience it works. You notice the results pretty quick. It's not day one, but certainly within a couple of weeks, you're starting to feel and notice a difference, both physically and just kind of how it looks. But you're also going to lower stress by lowering cortisol levels. You got appetite and cravings control, which is a big part of dropping those pounds because sometimes we give in, and this helps you avoid giving in. Plus, all-day focused energy. No jitters, no crash. You'll have the energy to work out. You don't fall off the plan. Look, this stuff's tough. It's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would just be in great shape. Burn Balance Complex makes it easier. So get out. Drop my name at Supplement Superstores. They'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
When you're at work, you never know when you'll be interrupted. But with the Dell Pro, powered by Intel Core Ultra with vPro, no matter what distracts you, your laptop won't. It's battery optimized for the way you work, with built-in intelligence that quiets distractions when you need to focus. Your laptop will help keep you locked in, even when it's bring your dog to work day. Built for those who stay in the flow. The Dell Pro, built for you. Dell.com/Dell-Pro.
Welcome back, DGS. Interesting story. A cop pulled his gun on a fellow cop for microwaving fish at the police department.
What else are the guns for?
I mean,
I saw this story. I didn't look into it too deeply. I did initially wonder, like, is this like cop humor? Like, hey,
get the fish out of there.
Probably, yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah. It probably is something like that. I would hope that it's not like real anger. That'd be kind of much.
Per a press release, the Myrtle Beach Police Department asked the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division to investigate. He was booked and released on a $5,000
Oh, so
bond.
it was serious.
Court hearing is set for August 14th.
Jeez.
And he's on leave.
Rach, you familiar with the male tennis player who says he doesn't want female judges?
No, who is it?
I think his name's Velez, Vallez, and he claims that he lost a recent tournament because of a female judge who's just not up to snuff, and said that from now on he would like all male judges, please and thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, that's Adolfo Daniel Vallejo.
Yeah,
Never heard of him. So
yeah, I've never heard of him either. I don't pay like close attention to men's tennis, other than like the top 10, which I don't believe this person is in the top 10. I guess I would just ask him, like, so what is it? The male brain
can
only
better.
see the mark on the clay, and the female brain just goes like, I don't see it.
The ovaries are in my way. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
I wish I could say that ball was in, but I am on my period, and I am in a bad mood.
He said that she was not strong enough to handle the demanding crowd.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
All right.
Apropos of the cops and the microwave fish, Joel Bradley online says, fish, stick 'em up.
Oh, boy.
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, now I get
That's
it.
an Amy.
At first I was like, what?
I'm surprised that wasn't Amy texting us that. It's not bad.
I don't like puns in general, but
That's a pretty good
it's
one.
a good one. I'm okay with that.
I can't even find the story of the tennis player. I'm Googling like tennis,
He's that
male,
low.
judges, female. I just, I mean, it's not someone I've ever heard of before.
Apparently, so apparently he was upset because when he lost to a 17-year-old. So I guess if you're a grown-ass man losing to a high school kid, maybe you're trying to find someone to blame other than your sorry-ass self.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
It's the lady's fault.
The problem wasn't that a teenager kicked your ass. The problem was that stupid lady.
I knew it had to be one of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys about my friends at First Missouri Credit Union. And look, let's be realistic. You have a bank. I have a bank. I still have a bank. But I took some of the money from my bank and I put it in a checking account at First Missouri Credit Union because I don't know about you, but my bank doesn't pay me 4.27%, and First Missouri does. Up to $100,000. So it's like real money, real interest, real investment, and they make it super, super easy. I was in and out of there, swear to God, even with pleasantries and niceties, and this is Dave, and he's on KMOX, in 15 minutes or less, which I really appreciate. They have the best interest rates on auto loans, getting lower all the time. They will talk about a signature loan for you if you're a member, which a bank would just laugh at you about. They don't make stupid decisions because they have a fiduciary duty to everyone to make good decisions. But there's definitely a thumb on the side of the scale to say yes when you are a member. How do you become a member? You show up at First Missouri with $25, put it in a checking or savings, and you are a member. 314-544-5050, the number one, STMOCU.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for buying gas. That's right. You can earn cash back with Upside just for buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside, and just last year, I made nearly $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get cash back? If you like extra cash, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earned from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app
now to earn cash back when you fill your tank. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Your bathroom should feel less routine and more daily escape. At Michael's Baths, they can transform ordinary bathrooms into a beautiful, comfortable space for homeowners across St. Louis and surrounding areas. And now they're introducing new premium walls. If you love the look of stone without the upkeep, you're going to love this. Sleek, durable, designed to elevate your space. For a limited time, enjoy a free range shower head or upgrade with safety features like grab bars or a built-in seat. Call Michael's Baths today and schedule a free consultation. 636-775-0800.
Get ready for laughs and adventure with Gilbert and Sullivan's The Pirates of Penzance. Join Opera Theater of St. Louis from May 23rd to June 27th for a high-energy tale of romance, comedy, and clever mischief. Follow a young pirate as he leaves the ship behind for crazy hijinks on land as he searches for true love. It's a wild ride for the whole family, full of fun, duty, and destiny. Tickets start at just $25. For tickets and more information, visit experienceopera.org.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Audient Hearing.
Tesla is building sales momentum in China, where the China Passenger Car Association reported that Tesla notched its sixth straight month of year-over-year sales gains on an increase of 36% in April. A pair of factors aiding that gain were the low sales from a year ago, as well as a higher mix of Tesla's China-made EVs being exported to Europe. Tesla makes the Models 3 and Y in China. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock right now, we've got sunshine. It is 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. The state-appointed St. Louis Police Board hit pause today on a set of double-digit raises for its command staff, but only for 2 weeks. Mayor Kara Spencer pushed for the delay, according to St. Louis Magazine, warning the raises would force matching increases for fire department officers under pay parity rules and throw the city budget out of sync. Police Chief Robert Tracy and his staff countered that the department needs the raises because some officers actually lose money when they accept a promotion. The board agreed to take the raises back up at its June 17th meeting. Missouri U.S. Senator Eric Schmidt says he landed $350 million in the Republican reconciliation bill for ICE to arrest immigrants who walk free when local jails decline to hand them over to federal agents. Schmidt calls it common sense enforcement. Democrats oppose the broader ICE funding. Will the Festus city attorney review the recall petition to determine if it is legally valid after being asked to by the lawyer representing the mayor and council members facing the recall? He tells KMOX he will.
To determine whether the reasons stated are the reasons listed for recall in the state statute 77650, and I'll advise the council on that.
Malone says he will, the city attorney Malone says he will make a legal determination ahead of the city council meeting next week, but will leave it up to the council members. He advises whether they share it publicly due to attorney-client privileges. Our top national story from ABC News. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass appears to be moving on to a runoff after Tuesday's primary, but it's still unclear who she'll be running against. ABC News political director Avery Harper has more.
When you look at the vote count, and at last check, Karen Bass was at about 35% of the vote. Spencer Pratt was just behind her at about 30%, and then that progressive councilwoman, Nithya Raman, she was at about 22% of the vote. There's a little bit of a quirk in California in that votes will still be counted as long as they are postmarked by Election Day and they are received within 7 days of Election Day. So it could be a while before we actually know who is going to go up against Karen Bass.
World Cup security is grounding some drone flights across parts of Missouri.
The FAA has issued temporary flight restrictions over the St. Louis area tied to World Cup activities. Those no-fly zones start at May 29th and run through July 21st around team sites and hotels. Federal data also shows similar restrictions now in place in the Kansas City area. Flying a drone without approval in those zones could lead to fines up to $100,000 and possible federal charges. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index to Stiefel and Scott Bedell.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. The 9-day winning streak by the Standard & Poor's 500 stock index came to an end today after setting many all-time highs along the way. The S&P 500 lost 0.75% at 7,554. Elsewhere, NASDAQ fell 0.9% at 26,853. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 619 points at 50,688. The Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index also down, falling just a little less than 1% at 1,605. Checking on some stocks of local interest, Energizer gained 1.5% at $18.60. Bunge Global higher by 1.75% at $131.41. On the downside, Stiefel Financial slipped a penny at $69.37. Commerce Bank down 1.25% at $51.36. Finally, Enterprise Financial Services fell 2.9% to close at $58.99. This has been Scott Bedell from Stiefel Financial, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to explore our website at stiefel.com.
Sunny skies, comfortable humidity, and our high for the day between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon should be about 81 and lots of sunshine. Beautiful evening in the 70s. Clear skies, 59 for the overnight low. Thursday, sunny skies, spectacular morning. A little warmer in the afternoon, a touch more humid but bearable. 86 degrees. Friday, partly sunny, a couple of spot showers and thunder showers around in the afternoon. Very limited, mainly a dry day, 88, with scattered showers and thunderstorms around Saturday and Sunday, warm and quite humid over the weekend. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Choruses of Harmony STL, right now 81 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Harmony STL presents Now Playing, featuring the ambassadors of Harmony, Visions of Harmony, the Recruits, and Fleet Street, performing the hits that shaped generations. Saturday, June 13th, 2 p.m., Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets at harmonystl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, DGS on KMOX. A few minutes shy, no, a few minutes after 3 p.m. Beautiful day out there. I don't want to jinx this, but the good luck with the weather keeps going.
It's a beautiful spring.
Yeah, I mean, it could be 95 out there, so I'll take it. Do you want to hear about AI, or do you want to hear about how I think I'm at the very edge of my abilities?
Are they related?
I want to hear about the edge of Dave's abilities.
No, not unless not unless some way I don't know about. But I was thinking last night, and I had this thought, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of a humorous thought, and I wrote it down. Then I woke up this morning, I read it, and I'm like, no, that's true. And I promise you, this is not being self-deprecating or for you guys to tell me I'm pretty. I really think this. I've come to the conclusion at 61. Because, you know, I could live like my mom until 97, but I don't think I'll be doing this professionally until then. So I'm on the back end. I'm on the back nine. I think that my personal life's totally different, of course. I am at the absolute edge of my abilities. This is the most I could ever do. I really think that. I think I'm a smart guy. I think I'm funny. I think I have a few tools in my toolkit. Clearly, because I've done a 4-hour show every day, 5 days a week for 26 years. That's something. That's a lot. But I was a lawyer. I don't think I would have been a good one had I stayed, because I don't have the stick-to-itiveness. I don't have the the personal grit to go in and do a boring job every single day. I just don't. Too much of a circus clown. I thank God I didn't become a doctor because I'm a good test taker, and I probably could have passed a test to get into medical school, and I would have left a trail of bodies in my wake. I maybe could have made it bigger in the media. Like I did a bunch of national television and national radio, but I've never had a national show. But I look at it and I think to myself, you did pretty good. I think you are at the edge of your abilities. You ever had a thought like that about yourself?
I hope not.
You hope you're not at the edge of your abilities, or you hope you haven't had a thought like that?
I hope I'm not thinking that when I'm 35 years old.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, you're too young to be thinking that.
I think that's something you hit when you're, like us. You've been around a little bit.
Yeah.
When you say you're at the edge of your abilities, like what emotion is behind that? And is that like comma, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to accomplish so much in my life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's way more gratitude than disappointment.
Yeah.
It's way more like, well, that went about as well as it could go. Because, I'm not a religious person. If anything, I think in terms of multiple lifetimes, which I don't believe in either, but it makes more sense to me, like, oh, next time you're this guy, next time you're that lady. But in this life, as this guy with these tools, I think I did okay. I think I hit about the highest batting average I could.
Yeah.
But that also means I don't think I had what it takes to do more. But I'm really not that disappointed about that.
What more do you want?
Oh, like I could have made more money. I could have been a senator. I could have been a tech billionaire. Like there are all kinds of people you can be in this life that I think would be not empirically, but subjectively more impressive than the one I've been. So that's why I say I don't see me being a tech billionaire. I don't see me being a senator. I don't see me being, all these different things. And that's why I look at it and go, yeah, you went about as far on this map as you could. Yeah. So yeah, Rach, it's more of a pleasant thought than it is like oh, poor me. It's just like, oh, okay. All right. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think like having your name on an afternoon show in a major market for 26 years is nothing to to be like, and I accomplished nothing. It's like, no, you've accomplished something like the vast majority of people will never accomplish.
Yeah, I don't think anybody looks at you and thinks like, never lived up to his potential. What more could he have done?
Vic says, aren't we always at the edge of our abilities until the next push comes? Shut up, Vic. Yes, but
they always got something to say.
He's always got something to say.
They always got something. All those chatters.
He's so on the edge. No, it's a valid point to bring up, and I would just say this: sure, if you put me in Navy SEAL training and you screamed at me and all that stuff, I could probably do more than I think I could. I wouldn't become a Navy SEAL, but I might go, wow, I made it 18 hours. I didn't think I could do that. But it feels pretty mushy out there as far as like pushing the boundaries more, if that makes sense. Sure, I could do it. Seems silly.
And also, that's not necessarily what push means. Push doesn't always mean somebody gets in your face and says, I'm going to kill you if you don't.
No, I took it as good, meaning push your own boundaries.
Yeah, or just like a weird opportunity comes along and it's like,
Kev, you're close to my age. Do you have similar feelings at all? Or feelings at all?
I don't think of it as broadly as you are. I think of everything in its own little box. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Say that again.
Like I don't think of my abilities as some broad thing. I think, okay, I had a baseball player part and I had a radio part and I do other things, but I don't really think of, like, as a baseball player, I probably did get close to maxing out what I was capable of doing physically. Like, didn't throw hard enough to really be a big factor, didn't have the training techniques at the time, so I don't have any regrets about it because what we know now about biomechanics and all that, we didn't know then. So, that was not going to happen. I don't really have a regret on it, but I can see it, right? I can look at it and see it and evaluate it. I think so much of what we do in this business is right place, right time in terms of whether you end up with a national show, whether you end up, at a place like I'm at KMOX because a listener to my old national show made the connection for me. That's how that happened. Like that. I think there's so much randomness to it that I don't want to assign anything to it. I think all of us that are doing it are clearly capable. And most of us are capable of doing it in bigger markets or smaller markets or national or staying local. I don't think there's a huge gap in abilities. A lot of times it's timing, it's relationships, and sometimes it is grind. I mean, there are people that are like, I don't care if I have to move every year. I want to keep going up, keep going up. For me, my goal was I want to have fun doing what I'm doing. And if I'm having fun, I'm not going to sweat all that.
It's a great attitude.
So if you're going to say, did you achieve what you wanted? Yeah, I basically have had a 30-year career of having fun every day. That was kind of the goal of getting into this. Like, I want to do something for a living that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That's more rewarding to me and more worth it to me than grinding for every dollar. Even though it would be nice to be super rich, the odds of being super rich are low. And you also know that getting from, let's say, point level A to level B, the difference isn't that much greater. Is it going to be worth it to have the constant moving, right? If I have to move every year and uproot my family every year, is that worth it to go from St. Louis to Chicago? And actually, for me, it was obviously the other way around.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you're going the wrong way.
I have guys and friends in the business who literally the first 10, 12 years of their career, they moved every year.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the only way to move up is to move on.
Yeah.
As opposed to staying where you are.
Well, I said it to Brian Kilmeade. I don't know if you guys were there, but I said to his face one time, like, not only are you not better than me, I think I'm actually better than you. But you work so much harder than I do. And you always have your whole career. And he just laughed. He's like, you're 100% right. He said, you have no idea how many guys I left behind me who were more talented than me.
Mm-hmm.
But the talent I do have, and Brian's very talented.
Of course he is.
But the talent that he says he does have is like just being a grinder, like he said. He's out there every shift, knocking heads. Where I was more like, this feels okay. This feels pretty good.
It's all about what motivates you, though, right? If your motivation is advancement or money or whatever, that's cool. It's just not what motivated me.
Yeah. So the AI thing, you can see this on Drudge. There's a headline. It's big. Get you a headline that $13 trillion in the creative market, which as I understand it, they wrote the article mostly about news, but it would also include us. It would also include actors and actresses and musicians. $13 trillion in creative dollars could go away in the next several years because of AI. And their focus of the story was not just AI news, but this is something Rach has talked a lot about, and I didn't know this really, or didn't get it, that AI goes out there and grabs, say, for example, the KMOX news, and then regurgitates it in their own. So they're just basically stealing
That's
stuff.
all it does.
No, that's exactly what it is.
And
That's all it does.
now it's starting to do that with other entertainment sources. And, they came for these guys, and I said nothing, and then they come for us. So,
yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of people, including, I think, our own union, have been pushing for legislation to and I forget which I want to say there was an actor or a musician who was really pushing this too. Was it Scarlett Johansson? I think Scarlett Johansson's
Sounds
really
familiar.
pushing this. It's this idea that if you're going to be improving your product, which is what AI is, using my work, you need to pay me for it. I need to be compensated for that. And that's what a lot of authors are saying. Like, these things are learning my book, but it's not going to credit me, and I'm not going to get paid for the work that I did. And I think that's a major ethical question. And the tech bros, they just want to do. They don't care about any of this stuff, which is why it's frustrating that our political leaders haven't gotten ahead of this and said, wait a minute, you don't just get to steal and plagiarize. Because if you go ask about a story on ChatGPT or whatever, it'll just lay it out for you. Now, it does provide links, usually, for things. But at the same time, it didn't have that information itself. It didn't source that. It didn't report on it. It didn't go write it. It's just taking what it was given by seeing it somewhere else.
So Bernie Sanders just very recently came out with this idea. He wants to do something called the American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. So what it would do is put a one-time 50% tax on these tech companies' stock, which would be paid in shares, and then deposit that equity into a public fund that gives Americans like voting rights, board representations, and eventually we would get checks in the mail based on what AI is generating. And the idea behind that is like AI exists because of what we are putting into it, so we should get something back.
And what we're losing, like our jobs.
Yes. So, I mean, I have to do more research on this, but at first blush, I'm like, this is definitely better than the deal we're getting right now, which is we get nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh, we get to generate images on our phone. I can make myself look like Princess Leia. Okay, I don't care. I don't need that. You could take that away forever. It doesn't affect my life in any way.
I mean, isn't it a basic human right that you should be paid for your work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they get to steal all of our work? And by all of ours, I mean all people.
Yes, because
right?
it's not.
I don't just mean radio people. I mean everybody.
But you're right, Wheels. It's not just like licensed art that they're stealing from. They're also going through. They're coming through Reddit threads and just the average person's comment, people's tweets, people's meta posts. They take that data and they learn from it. They're stealing from us. They don't exist without us. And this idea of like it's so smart. The AI just has such a high IQ. It's like, no, it just gobbled up everything in sight.
Yeah.
And now it's throwing it up back at us.
Yeah, I have less of an issue if it's just taking public domain things that we put out there for free because we feel like it versus I wrote a book and it took me 4 years to write this book. And I did all the research and I interviewed all the subjects. And now AI just gets to learn it and use it to make money for this tech company. Or they get to take images that were generated in movies that were made by people that were creative and did the things. It shouldn't be the fact that they can profit off of and monetize other people's work is a real problem.
And they also like Meta just came out a couple weeks ago and said like we're not encrypting your Instagram messages anymore. Your Meta messages are no longer encrypted. Meaning our AI can go in and view your conversations and view your photos and all this stuff. All these things you started doing before you even heard of AI, had any inkling of what this was. We can now go and we can scan and we can profit off of this. We're just using you as a tool.
And are we just so addicted that we put up with it?
I mean, if you are already using that, I'm going to guess most people don't know that's happening because who's reading stories about Instagram every day?
Yeah.
I only know because I check that kind of stuff for headlines and work purposes. So it's not like you get a notification that's like, hey, here's what we're doing.
Yeah. Interesting.
It just happens.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
So I learned a few years ago that a big part of your comfort in your home and your comfort financially with your heating and cooling bills have to do with your windows, and that replacing old windows, inferior windows, with new superior windows from any of the good window companies, if they're worth their metal, should give you about a 1/3 savings. January through December, whether it's 10 degrees outside or 110 degrees outside. And so everyone's concerned with their money. And I think most of us are concerned with our physical comfort. And so with a hot St. Louis summer on the way, if you're already thinking about the possibility of getting some replacement windows, think about replacing them with Universal Windows Direct, having a much more comfortable summer, having a much less expensive summer, especially when you hear the deal they're offering. Right now, they're offering DGS listeners buy 4 windows, get 4 for free, no limit, and 48 months, 0% interest financing, which is the most that they've offered. It's kind of gone up and down. But right now, if you're interested, I would jump on it because I don't know if it's going to go any higher than that. You buy the windows, you get 4 years to finance them with 0 interest as long as you pay it off in the 4 years. 314-334-2522, universalwindowsdirect.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Father's Day, go big for Dad. Celebrate Father's Day with 5 courses fresh from the Wok Fire. Enjoy a 5-course celebration experience starting at $89.99, featuring premium entrees like New York prime strip steak tataki, oolong chili and sea bass, and lobster and prawn fried rice. Bold flavors, sizzling favorites, a meal made to impress. Because Dad deserves more than just a dinner. He deserves a celebration. Celebrate Father's Day with some sizzle. Only at P.F. Chang's.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal, or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Chrysalis Biosciences in Sauget, Illinois is hiring for multiple roles. Join a fast-growing ethanol plant transforming renewable energy with competitive pay, benefits, and growth opportunities. Apply today and grow your career with Chrysalis at chrysalisbio.com.
Proudly serving St. Louis for over 100 years. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
325 DGS. Dave Murray joins us at the bottom of the hour. Did you guys see this poll? It is at YouGov.net, favorables of public figures. So it goes from the most liked public figure to the least. And it's a real thing. Like I looked it up. You want to hear them?
Mm-hmm.
Any guesses at who's at number one?
Is it
Most popular?
Yes.
It's politicians or all public figures?
All public figures.
Punch the monkey.
Close.
The Rock.
Yeah, damn it. I was going to say The Rock.
Pope Leo.
Oh.
Pope Leo is at a net plus 37, followed by Jon Stewart, who's at a plus 14, Senator Mark Kelly, John Ossoff, also I think a senator, Glenn Youngkin, I think he's a Republican politician.
Yeah, Virginia, I think.
James Tallarico, who's running for the Senate in Texas as a Democrat, Ro Khanna, Pete Buttigieg, and Josh Shapiro. Then you get into the negatives. At -1, AOC. -3, Kamala Harris. -4, Thomas Massey. -5, Gavin Newsom. -8, J.D. Vance. Also -8, Marco Rubio. That's interesting. -10, Ron DeSantis. -17, Donald Trump. -27, Donald Trump Jr. And in last place at a -36, Tucker Carlson.
Really?
Yeah. That's the list.
Tucker's the most unpopular public person in the United States.
That's what this is saying.
My Lord.
If it's to be believed.
I actually understand it with Tucker. because he's kind of pissing off people on both perspectives.
Yeah.
You know, he's been going after Trump on certain things. He's been going after the right on a few things, notably, I think, Epstein and stuff like that. But he's also always gone at the left, too. So he's not going to really be popular with anybody.
Oh, dude. Speaking of the Epstein, have you seen, I apologize, I don't know her name, female, either congressperson or a senator. They were interviewing Blanche yesterday, and she went after him. I don't know what happened, but this Epstein thing will be talked about for decades, if not 100 years in America, as one of the biggest grifts, one of the biggest distractions, one of the biggest stains on American history. What this guy did, he did. What the people around him did, they did. That's one thing. Just like the Catholic priests who did what they did.
Right.
But then the Catholic Church is forever stained because of the cover-ups and the receipts this lady was bringing. And just one example, there's an email in there from Epstein's attorney to Trump's attorney in 2009, back and forth, whichever, that said, in lieu of a deposition, here's what Donald has to say. And it's all redacted. I think that's something we deserve to read. And that's just one of thousands of examples she had. So
it's Representative Madeline Dean.
Okay. Yeah, check it out. You'll be so pissed. I'll tell you guys about attorney Mark Cantor. And this is not a zero-sum game between Mark and the television advertising attorneys who I loathe and disrespect so much. It's about you. And Mark would never tell you that he's the only good personal injury attorney in St. Louis. That's not true. There are many others who are very good. But, and I think you'll understand this, there aren't that many others. It's a pretty short list. He was just named for the second time in his career to the Lawyers Weekly Top 10 Power List. Out of thousands of attorneys, that doesn't just happen. You have to earn that. He is a true trial attorney. He's very steady. He's very mature. He just integrity and honesty is everything to him. His faith is very important to him. Living up to his father's standard is very important to him. All that translates into he's going to take very good care of you if you're injured. 314-628-9999, Cantor, injurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Around baseball, questions are being asked.
Why do they win so many one-run games? Why do they win games they shouldn't win?
Is this a rebuild, a reset, or something more?
You think this stuff would be happening?
A win, Burleson and Herrera developing fast enough to change everything in real time? When the day ends, the real conversation begins.
Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler hanging out with you talking cards.
Redbird Rush Hour, weekdays at 5. This is Cardinals Talk that doesn't flinch.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
The weekend starts at Busch Stadium. Grab your crew and kick it off at Friday Night Live. Every Friday night home game, Budweiser Terrace turns into the hottest happy hour in the Lou. With $5 beers, $5 hot dogs, $7 margaritas, live music, and more all game long. Meet up with friends, soak in the energy, and keep the night going with baseball under the lights. Good vibes, great deals, your new Friday tradition. Get tickets now at Cardinals.com.
The road to the United Bowl starts here. Your St. Louis Battlehawks have clinched the playoffs and earned dome field advantage. Playoff football is coming back to St. Louis. Sunday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com. United, we battle.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
We got issues on the Illinois side with the road work going on, 5570, that new project that started this week. If you're on eastbound 64, first of all, you're bogged down from Route 3, just east of the Poplar Street Bridge, and it goes on to 5570 all the way up to a crash we have east of 203. Westbound of 5570, you've got a jam from 255 to Black Lane, and then west of there through 111 to that 203 crash. They're looking at it as well. Eastbound 64, of course, there's road work delays for you. Once you get past that point off 70, it's 111 to 157 the way you normally experience it. Westbound 70 at the city limits, you've got slow traffic at TR Hughes through Highway K, a little busy at 61. Eastbound 70 is on the brakes from 47 all the way into the Wright City rest area, and then slow to Wright City proper after that. Westbound 64 on the Missouri side, you've got delays from the Science Center out to McCausland. It's kind of slow, Spady to Ballas, Clarkson to Topgolf, and Lake St. Louis out to 70. Southbound 270, south of 364, down through Doherty Ferry, 44 through to Tesson Ferry. There's a couple of busy spots, but it's not terrible. Southbound 55, barely a slowdown at Highway Z. I'm Roger Brand at the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Community America Credit Union helps you and me, shortstop Mason, win. To win big. Cash back, free checking, win. No service fees or minimum balance, win. So yeah, you really can win with Community America. So can I. That's a win-win.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
With summer here and the kids home full-time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
It's 3:34, and this time check is sponsored by Paramount Men's Medical Center.
The pitch. Mason Wynn hits it hard. Deep left field. That ball's out of here.
Community America Credit Union has been helping people like you and me, shortstop Mason Wynn, to win big for 85 years. Cash back with your free checking, win. No service fees or minimum balance, win. Bank anywhere, anytime with their app, win. So yeah, with Community America, you can win, and so can I, Mason Wynn. Community America Credit Union. Invested in St. Louis, invested in you.
Today, the Cards, the Rangers.
Ameren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Dave Murray's forecast is sponsored by Community America Credit Union.
Welcome back, DGS 335. Dave Murray brought to you by the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
Been waiting all day to use this one on you. I was doing my show prep this morning, and on Drudge, I see a story in all red, and it says, Godzilla El Nino to cause chaos. And I'm like, this one's going to send him.
I bet it's real.
Spiraling.
Yeah, well, we've heard Super. That got tagged pretty early. We've heard Monster, and now we have Godzilla. Guess just to get those clicks, we got to keep adding words to it. It's going to be an El Nino period. Not quite sure how long it's going to last. I'm not convinced that it lasts deep into the winter, but we shall see about that. And it's going to be strong. What happened was back in the 90s, some clown put the word Super El Nino on this thing. And it was a very strong El Nino. It was back, I want to say 79, something like that. But it was in the 70s. And there was a lot of big West Coast storms. There was a lot of wild weather and we didn't know a lot about El Nino at the time. So now every time El Nino starts to develop, which is about every 3 to 5 years, it's a super El Nino again. We're all going to die. Just, we can deal with it, okay?
And I know we've talked about this, Dave, but in general, what does El Nino cause?
It's a warming of the Pacific Oceans. Now, there's other effects across the world, but it's mainly a stretch of very warm waters in the Pacific. And it's kind of tied to South America. and Central America as it goes across the Pacific. And the one difference this year is that the waters of the Pacific are kind of warm already. So it's warming up quite a bit. Now, will there be some wild weather coming up as we go through the fall and into the early winter? Probably. But again, we can handle it. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be the end of the world.
Okay. You heard it here first. Not the end of the world.
Speaking about great weather.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yesterday, at this time, we were 79 for the temperature, over 53 dew point. We're 80 over 49 with a dew point. So this evening is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Top 10 evening for June, early June.
Yeah. Rach and I have been saying it's the best spring I can remember.
It's been a really good spring. We've had some variety. We've had some severe weather, but we haven't gone crazy with the severe weather. And it's been really nice for St. Louis standards.
And it looks like we're still staying away from 90 for the next few days?
We're going to start to get close tomorrow. I'm going to go 88 tomorrow. It's going to warm up, but I think the humidity is still lagging a bit. So lots of sunshine. Friday, partly sunny. We're going to start to really feel the humidity on Friday, especially in the afternoon. Might be a spot shower, 88 degrees. The weekend, definitely humid. Saturday, partly sunny. Maybe a spot shower, but I think a lot of Saturday is rain-free, 89 degrees, and Sunday partly sunny, very humid, with scattered showers and thunderstorms. An increase, I think, on Sunday. A couple of those isolated storms could be on the strong side. It's a long way off, but we'll keep an eye on it. About 89 again on Sunday. Nothing's extreme with our temperatures, but the humidity starts to really come back on Friday.
Okay. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is getting a new date and a new location. Now, I don't know exactly where this location is going to be. That was not announced at the time of me gathering this story.
It's secret.
But the new event will take place on July 24th. That's roughly 3 months after an armed man tried to breach the April 25th gala at the Washington Hilton. So, I mean, I'm not saying like it's the Washington Hilton's fault, but they didn't prevent the guy from
made it a little easier
into the event. Yeah, so I'm glad they're going to be moving this to a different venue.
Yeah, the way I look at the most recent assassination attempt is I don't think there was much chance of him getting into the room, but there was obviously a great chance at him running the gauntlet, right? Like, for my money, that shouldn't even be possible. You know, he could have killed Secret Service people or Wolf Blitzer, who was taking a leak, you know, I mean.
NASA has declared that its Mars Maven spacecraft is dead after 6 months of silence. This is very sad. The Maven's mission has ended after more than a decade of observations. It was launched in 2013 to study Mars' atmosphere from orbit, and Maven mysteriously fell silent in early December after passing behind Mars.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's what I said. The aliens took it. But data indicates that the spacecraft went into a fast spin, disrupting its orbit and draining the batteries on board. So NASA's just saying, we're giving up. R.E.P. Maven.
Does anyone know, are either of the Voyagers still operational out there in deep space?
Don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's pretty amazing that they lasted as long as they did.
It's crazy.
I mean, that was the 70s when they launched those things.
And how far away they are by now.
Yeah.
The president has signed a resigned order on AI models. So last month, he was supposed to sign an order and then called it off at the last minute. This revised order asks AI companies to give the government an advanced look at their new models so the government can better prepare for potential security and economic fallout. That would be a 30-day review period before public release. Originally, that was supposed to be 90 days, but they want to cut down on red tape, so they're making it 30 days. I also want to make it clear, this program for these tech companies is voluntary. The major firms are, expected to opt in, but it is voluntary. So we're asking them, please do the right thing here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think that so I hate the government. So anything they do, I'm going to have a thumb on the scale for that's stupid and you suck. But this one makes some sense to me, given the, dangers that at least we here on the show talk about with AI all the time, yeah, I would want my government to have a little advanced warning. I thought we were getting a siren. Get a little advanced warning on like, hey, we got this thing and it could, topple the economy or what have you. But yeah, interesting story.
George Santos has been reported to prosecutors because of some suspicious Kalshi trades. Let's see here. So Kalshi is a prediction market. George Santos had said over and over again, like, I'm going to be at the State of the Union. Catch me at the State of the Union, guys. And then I guess he ended up betting against himself going to the State of the Union. Well, the morning of the State of the Union, he posts from the airport. He's like, I'm hung up at the airport. Can't make it to the State of the Union.
Waste of oxygen.
Yeah.
God. Are you even capable of not being a piece of trash? Are you capable of just working at McDonald's or something and giving someone 8 hours for their the pay? Like, God.
I mean, that seems pretty blatantly illegal.
Yeah, you would think so. But the way I understand it is the predictive markets are like the wild, wild west right now.
I think these things are ridiculous. Why is this allowed to exist?
I agree.
Well, who chooses what is eligible for being wagered upon? Can I just enter a thing on there and say, I think I'm not going to be there tomorrow?
Yes, I think you can.
Or
I think you're right.
Do they have to be like, here are the events we're laying? Because on a sports book, for example, like they lay out all the games and they give you the odds. They lay out the props, home run leaders for the year, who's going to win the World Series, all that. Like, it's all set by them. It's not set by us.
No,
the users do not create that. It's set for you by the bookmakers.
I've never used Kalshi, but their tagline is trade on anything. Anything.
Well, that seems to be like an easy way to make some money if you've got inside information.
Sure does.
It does seem like that. I think it's crazy that it exists. I mean, I think if 10 years ago you would have been like, hey, there's this thing you can do, we'd all be like, whoa. Can't believe that's legal.
And I can tell you from Phoebe and her friends, they all think that this is like a valid career, like basically day trading on this kind of stuff. But then again, I remember probably 20 years ago when I heard about influencers, I'm like, well, that's stupid. That's never going to be a thing. And here we are.
Well, for a lot of young people feel like this is their only way to ever become wealthy is to hit it big on something like this.
Yeah.
So I hadn't looked into this before, so I just found this out. But apparently when you're on Kalshi, you're not playing against the house, right? So like a bookmaker, FanDuel, whatever, like when you win, they're paying you. It sounds like you're only betting against other people, and the people that bet against you are the ones that lose to you.
And so then Kalshi just takes.
So in other words, if you go out, right, they're going to be I guess you'd say the broker. They're the they get a percentage no matter what of the action, and if you win, the people that go opposite you are the ones that lose, and that's the money that gets spread amongst the winners, I guess.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's gambling. But, man, it needs to be regulated. I mean, there's a reason we have all the regulations we do for casinos in Vegas so people can't game the system.
I'm just shocked that George Santos would do something like this.
I know.
I thought he was above this type of thing.
Yeah, such a straightforward person.
That was my last story.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
All righty. You got it.
Tell you guys about Zero Res, and it's my job to convince you that Zero Res is reliable and trustworthy, and they do a good job, and they're not going to do anything that's going to affect you negatively. And I can tell you that from about 18 years of experience with thousands of DGS listeners who have used them. I can tell you that from my own experience, it's probably 10 times now, maybe a dozen, that they've been out to the house and they've, taken care of something Zero Resi. They do wall-to-wall carpeting. That's their bread and butter. They also also do area rugs, tile, hardwood. They do upholstery like your favorite couch or chair. They do dryer vents and air duct cleaning. Right now, the deal is 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take an extra $100 off your air duct cleaning. 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, busy highways, especially in Illinois right now. This traffic reports a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. We got the road work going on 5570 between 203 and 255, and eastbound headed that way. Eastbound 64 is backed up from Route 3 just after the Poplar Street Bridge all the way over through 111. Westbound 5570 got jammed from 255 past 111. There was a crash midway between 203 and 111. Both sides suffering from that. Eastbound 70 east of the Musial Veterans over to 64 is jammed. And, of course, 64 is the usual road work back up between 111 and 157. Westbound 70 at the city limits is heavy both ways between 270 and the Blanchette, kind of crowded. TR Hughes out to almost Bryan Road. Then it's a little brief delay at 61. Eastbound 70 still jammed east of 47. Most of the way through the Wright City rest area, a solid jam, and then it's slow to Wright City after that. Westbound 64, Kings Highway out through McCausland, Speedy to Ballas, slow, Clarkson to Topgolf, 364 out to 70, South 270, south of 364 to Doherty, Ferry 44 down to Gravois, the busiest part of that run. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Join KMOX and Community American Credit Union for a free evening of fun as they celebrate the grand opening their new De Beers branch June 4th from 5 till 7 p.m. It'll be a great time. You could win swag from the big ATM, the Amazing Things machine, meet Cardinals alumni, get a photo with Redbird, plus free food, entertainment, and more. And a chance to come on out and say hi to Chris Ronchi from the Chris and Amy Show. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Soon we will know who's going to be wearing rings at the end of the NBA season, and you can celebrate with FanDuel as well. Right now, new customers get $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days with FanDuel. FanDuel is the best place to bet all your favorite players or teams during NBA's biggest event. Seek out individual player markets or build an epic same-game parlay, whatever you want to do. And best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after you join and bet $5 for 7 days straight. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. Minimum $5 wager required for 7 consecutive days. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You know, one of the worst parts about these idiots in D.C., they're such cowards. GOP rep Andy Ogles, who I didn't know before this, posted on apropos of Pride Month, homosexuality has no place in America. And then a bunch of his GOP colleagues called him out and said, that's disgusting. And now, guess what? He's blaming it on a staffer.
Oh, for God's sake.
He doesn't think that. The staffer just got over their skis.
So the staffer's fired?
Haven't seen it. What a coward. What a waste you are.
Dude.
I always love the staffer excuse because, I don't know.
It's worked for his boss.
I post a lot of things for the show's social media, and I genuinely try to keep it as, like, white bread as possible because I'm not speaking for myself, right? So the idea that it's like, I need to make a post for my boss. I know what I'll say. Homosexuality has no place in this country.
He'll love it.
Happy Pride. Like, that's kind of, I don't know if
it's
staffer
impossible
cooked
to
that one
believe.
up.
Impossible.
It is impossible to believe.
You see a little bit of his background,
right?
And it's all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It is impossible to believe that someone who works for an important person would just put that out there on their own.
No, it's silly.
Yeah.
It's the same way.
I mean, it's possible, but it is so unlikely that it's basically impossible.
Well, it's also the same way that Trump bald-faced lied, shock, about the anti-weaponization fund. Oh, I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't really involved with that. Really?
Sure you weren't.
So they just came up with that, came up with a number, decided to give you immunity on your taxes, and just surprised you on a Tuesday. And then when everyone in the Senate started pushing back on it, suddenly, not you, because you have no control over it, they decided to put it away. Todd Blanche in his testimony is like, yeah, that's done. It's dead. It's never coming back. And they're like, well, what? And he's like, well, I think the underpinnings of it were valid, but blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, you're the one who did it because Trump didn't even know about it. Lies, 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 lies.
Well, and I promise you that Ogles is one of those guys. He's in the group that would be like, where are all the real men? We don't have any toughness anymore. Well, look at you. As soon as it gets hot, oh, I didn't really do that. Ooh, sorry.
Staffer.
Liar. If you want to say it, own it. There has never been a thing that I've said on the radio in 30 years that I wouldn't put my name on. Nothing. I've never sent a tweet and said, oh, no, that wasn't me. I was hacked. If you're going to say it, own it. Or shut up.
Yeah. It's just everything about it is disgusting.
Yes.
Tell you guys about Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. And again, I have a lot of lives today. I'm going to bottom line this one for you. Not going to put up a lot of fancy tapestry about my relationship with the brothers or, how we get along or how they're great guys. They give a lot to charity. What you care about is, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house. I understand it's a soft market. Maybe I should wait until next spring. Well, my understanding is that nationally it's a soft market. Here in St. Louis, it's about even. And look, I'm getting paid to tell you this. I'm the only one who will be honest with you about this. But I'm going to find a reason that the Gelmans are good for you. This one was put in my lap.